Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in. Got a lot to get to today. Eddie Garrison is back in for the vacationing Kyle Udemark. Kyle is back tomorrow running the thing. We appreciate Eddie for stepping in here for this final day while Kyle is out. And it was Super Bowl 55 last night, and it was all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, even without the greatest uniforms of all time, the creamsicles, the Buccaneers at home got it done. It was amazing. I mean, from really, for a boring game, which it was, because I think we expected the fireworks that you didn't get from one side. I mean, honestly, when you look at Pat Mahomes, when you look at that Chiefs offense, and the most excitement that they produced last night, and shout out to Todd Bowles and that defense and what Tampa Bay did. But the most excitement they produced last night were a couple of incompletions. I'm telling you, those were the two most exciting incompletions we have ever seen. And that's what they were, though, incompletions. Because Mahomes was running for his life the entire time. And he was like doing that Matrix thing where you're throwing, you're basically, your body is horizontal to the ground, and you're throwing it sidearm 35 yards like that. I mean, that was some incredible stuff, but it wasn't worth the price of admission, certainly, in watching it, because you expected so much more. So many different tone setters out there, huh? And what you realize, and we realized that if you're watching the Colts, when they beat the Chiefs a couple of seasons ago on a Sunday night at Arrowhead, you know, it was the pressure. I mean, the Colts were able to, on that evening, run the football and have success there, but ultimately it was the pressure, and then it was getting to Mahomes, and as I called it, flattening the tire, which they did. And last night, it was just absolutely constant, and he had nowhere to go with the football. I mean, we have seen a season with the Chiefs where their guys were constantly wide open. I mean, constantly. And it was nothing last night. Absolutely zero. And Tom Brady wins again, and Tom Brady is deserving. You know, not only, you don't even discuss the greatest of all time, or you don't have that debate or conversation in the NFL any longer. Now it's the greatest of all time as far as professional athletes are concerned. I mean, he has accomplished that much stuff that will never be touched with that win last night. What is it, 7 of 10? That's incredible. I think anybody's ever going to come close to that again. And then doing it with a different team. You know, leaving where you had been and had all that success, and then going someplace, and this is what was amazing to me, and I've received a couple of different emails and tweets today about, this is what the Buccaneers did. They sold their soul or blah, blah, blah. No, what they did, they went out and they hard-targeted a guy with their group that they felt could get them where they wanted to go. I mean, they had witnessed the Jameis Winston act, and while Jameis Winston threw for a lot of yards, he gave up the football a great deal. And this was a team that started the season, I believe, 7-2, right? Then they got mid-season, kind of scuffled around Thanksgiving a little bit, and then picked it up by the end of the season when it really does matter, and looked apart. Remember there were times over the course of the year when people were wondering, Rob Gronkowski comes back and he's invisible. I can't remember. Was O.J. Howard injured when for that team?
He was injured like halfway through the year,
I
think.
And you had Brait, and everybody kind of wondered, the guy that really didn't get the spotlight was the guy that has craved, desired, and received the spotlight in the past, and Gronkowski, he showed you why you'd want that guy on the team. And Tom Brady showed you why you would want to bring in a guy like Tom Brady. Because you bring him in, and then other guys, he's like the Pied Piper, other guys follow. Gronkowski comes out of retirement. There he is. And I know everybody's anti-Antonio Brown. I'm not a big fan of Antonio Brown, but yeah, there he is. Leonard Fournette gets cut loose by the Jags mid-season, and there he is. Tom Brady wants him, brings him here. It's an easy decision. And, man, you get a spotlight kind of shined on you, right? Where all of a sudden it's going to up your value now because you're with him. I mean, think about a guy like Shaq Barrett coming up here in the offseason. You think he made himself a little money last night? I mean, nobody really been talking about Jason Pierre-Paul and obviously into the season, into the postseason. But prior to that, there's more conversation about how many fingers he had missing than there was how much pressure he is able to put on the quarterback. I mean, Ndamukong Suh. I mean, last night he had a hit. They're lucky they didn't break Mahomes in half. When they had that try hit, when all three dudes got to him at once, and then they got flagged for the roughing the passer, which was deservingly so. But you talk about one night when they had it all, and I mean, it was no easy deal to get through the postseason as the Buccaneers did, and the teams that they had to beat in the postseason. I mean, hell, it's a good season for most if you go to Lambeau and do what they did to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But then, yeah, to close that deal last night was really impressive, and yet another reason why it's not even a conversation, greatest of all time in the NFL. This is a global greatest of all time athlete. And I'm not going to get into, well, if you go global, you got to talk about soccer, but I think you know what I mean. I mean, people are going to put him up there with, hockey people will certainly. You're talking about Gretzky. People are going to ask, what about Muhammad Ali? And then you got to get into the social stuff, and I'm not going to be all about that. But seriously, this is the argument you have to have. It's no longer about football. It's no longer about the NFL. And this dude's going to come back again next year. And who knows where they're going to be. I was really happy for Clyde Christensen, who's going to be on the show, the quarterback's coach. And if you remember, we talked to Clyde at the Combine a year ago, and then talked to Clyde again in the summertime, about not being with Brady. And, they talk about how they had some, illegal get-togethers, during the pandemic, whatever. But he talked about how their expectation was it was not going to be that big of a deal. I mean, it's Tom Brady, for goodness sake. And as it turned out, it was not a big deal. And there you go. Think about that for a moment. Tampa Bay plays on that first weekend, they beat Washington, right, in Washington. And then they go on the road and beat Drew Brees, right, New Orleans. Go on the road, beat Aaron Rodgers. You talk about lining up some quarterbacks and beating them. That's what stands out to me. You beat Brees, you beat Rodgers, and you beat Mahomes. You're not short-selling anybody for that. It was incredible. It was not the most enjoyable game to watch. I had no rooting interest. I didn't really care. I don't get bent out of shape about great commercials, bad commercials. You know what I like. The moment you put Beavis and Butthead in a commercial, I'm down with it. The moment you put George Costanza in a commercial, I'm down with it. That sweatshirt looks pretty awesome. I don't even know what it was. Was it Tide with Costanza in it? I'm asking Eddie, and Eddie doesn't even know who Costanza is, probably. Eddie's going, who's this Beavis and Butthead and Costanza?
I do know Beavis and Butthead.
The moment you do that, I go, yep. It's like doing something with Roadhouse. If you do something with Roadhouse or Fast Times at Ridgemont High, you got me. It does not have to be some huge, elaborate thing. You got me. But I was watching that a little bit. I wasn't bent out of shape about the halftime show. It didn't matter. The weekend, I know a couple of different songs, whatever. It's all good. This bridges the gap, makes halftime a little bit longer. I will also tell you this. Do people out there think that Kansas City are getting screwed out of their mind in the first half? I mean, maybe a couple here or there, but I didn't think they were getting screwed out of their mind. Now, somebody finally brought it up. I think it was Nate Burleson that brought it up on the CBS set. Maybe it was Boomer. I take that back. It might have been Esiason that brought it up. I mean, you kind of got to dive into it a little bit, during the game and during the broadcast, and they didn't really. And Esiason kind of jumped into it. Yeah, there were a couple. And believe me, I love making fun of officiating. But there were a couple here or there. All things considered, it was a dominant performance by the Buccaneers. I mean, with or without what many suggested would have been shoddy officiating that had a lean toward the Buccaneers in the first half of that game. Yeah, you played at home and you're getting the calls. They want Brady to win. It's some grand conspiracy. No, it wasn't a grand conspiracy. What it came down to is you had Kansas City could not protect their guy. That was the biggest of deals. And then when they made those first half errors, when they got flagged for it, it was the absolute worst of times. I mean, Chris Jones' situation, lining up offsides on a field goal. Matthew getting beat. It's all things that are going to put you in a bad spot and put them in a bad spot. But, I mean, overall, what are you going to do? Because Kansas City never got started. Their offense never came correct, never scored a touchdown. That was just a dominant performance by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I have zero rooting interest. Now, what ultimately happens, and I understand this, I've been doing this forever, and people came for me, hey, come over here and do this because we trust you, and we like what you do, and I've been here for, the better part of 10-plus years. Absolutely love this gig, so I kind of know what you're going to get into after a game like that, especially since you have a team here that has been searching for a quarterback. You have a team that was hosed by their former quarterback. I mean, absolutely screwed, put in the worst of circumstances and/or situations. Now, we're pretty far down the road, all right? It's time to kind of get off the excuse train with that. But did it sideswipe? Yeah, it did. It sideswiped everybody. Screwed them. Hosed. No answer. And you still don't have an answer right now. But they're going to say all the right things, but you still don't have an answer right now, which would lead me to believe, because I do have that veteran presence here, and I certainly know, I knew that people were going to ask, should the Colts have gone after Tom Brady instead of Phillip Rivers? Listen, you're not going to get me to sit here and tell you that anybody would be better off with Rivers over Brady. No matter what Rivers did, no matter you win 11 games, are you crazy? No. You're not better off. You're never going to be better off. His level of winning shows you that immediately. Absolutely not. But again, as I told you back during all this stuff even began, back before free agency got underway, before things were made official, there's no way Tom Brady was coming here. Oh, I know. Peter King wrote an article and said that Tom Brady had interest. He probably had interest in a lot of different teams. Wasn't coming here. I mean, as a last straw, maybe, but he wasn't down to a last straw. Wanted to go someplace where he felt he could win right now. Everybody suggested you could win here right now. But again, and Peter King notwithstanding, you think a dude's going to come here with an organization that actually cost him money, got him suspended, got him punished, put him through a bunch of crap? And, of course, the Colts, and, of course, Jim Irsay is going to say, well, we looked at it. And Frank Reich's going to say, yeah, you know what, we looked at tape. Come on. Sure, I mean, you have to cover what? The proverbial bases when you're trying to find your next quarterback. I mean, you have to do that. But come on, he wasn't coming here. How do you know that? He just wasn't coming here. And listen, and I didn't get into it. I don't want to say that because that's way overly dramatic. Somebody had just said, how am I going to believe you over Peter King? Honestly, I don't give a crap who you believe. I don't. It doesn't matter to me who you believe. I come here every day, and I'm going to be honest with you with what I hear. And I'm not going to tell you a bunch of junk that I don't. So either you believe me and you trust me or you don't. And I'm not suggesting you don't trust anybody nationally. Incredibly connected, and that is great. But I live here. People tell me things, and thus I pass this along to you because I know you're invested with this team. I'm not moving around the map from team to team or anything like that. So what it comes down to, either, you believe me on that or you don't. No, there's no way I'm foolish enough to think that if you had the opportunity, if you thought that Brady wanted to be here, absolutely do it. $25 million apparently was the going rate. He wanted to get a couple of years out of it. The Colts hoped to get a couple of years out of Rivers. And I don't get into all that stuff about, well, how is he going to affect it, or what would he what are you as an organization if you bring him in? What are you saying? He's a noted cheater. The hell with that. He's a noted winner. And he's better. And he is still really good at this time. So none of that matters other than the simple fact that, again, I will tell you, and others as Peter King did back, I think in the spring, late winter, spring, wrote an article about Brady having interest with the Colts. It just wasn't happening here. It wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to come. So he goes to Tampa. He gets with Arians, Leftwich, that organization, and then kind of like the Pied Piper, he starts playing his tune, and all of a sudden guys want to gravitate toward him. That is a good thing to have. Because he brings that presence. And you guys around here would know about the presence because Manning brought that presence too. It's just back during the Manning era, they weren't often shopping for free agents, if ever. They were winning and getting things done with their own and doing a good job of it. And he does. Just like Manning, he brings a different... How should I put this? I don't want to say culture because everybody does. And I don't like big words. Yeah, like culture is a big word. I mean, it just brings a different vibe to it all. I mean, he does. He makes everybody around him work harder, want to live up to his level, his expectations. That's what Manning did here. You guys know that. And that's what Brady did in Foxborough, and that's what Brady did in year number 1 in Tampa. There's no doubt. If you thought that dude wanted to play here and you could get him, absolutely. You would select him over anybody else. Wasn't going to happen. This wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I don't think that's one you can blame on Grigson, although maybe it would have happened had they not squealed on him. Had Grigson not told Irsay and then Irsay not told Kravitz and then they squealed on him, maybe that would have happened years later. Maybe it would happen if he didn't have any other options. Clearly, he had other options. And I'm just going through you what people are asking me about this situation right now. Hey, don't you think if the Colts had Brady, things could have been different? Could they have won it all? I mean, I don't know. I think Brady had some pretty good weapons down there. I mean, I certainly would take Mike Evans and Godwin and what they have at tight end. I would take that over the Colts' weapons. I guess the development of Ronald Jones. I like Jonathan Taylor. But the development of Ronald Jones, I'd probably take that. Thinking you're going to have Howard and Braid and Gronkowski as 3 tight ends, I think you would take that. And they scuffled trying to replace guys injury-wise. I think it's center over the course of the year. I would take it. But it was going to take him wanting to come here. So when you ask me that and then I'll respond, I mean, again, either you believe me or you don't, and that's okay. If you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. Oh, that makes me feel really good, but either way, it doesn't matter. But I knew that was going to be asked, and I thought I'm going to be prepared to answer these questions, kind of like we did back in the wintertime, late winter, early spring. If I thought it was ultimately going to be something that was going to be in the cards, we would probably been more in depth on it. But, as I told you back then, the same thing I'll tell you right now. Wasn't going to happen here. So who knows? And see, that's the thing. We dive into the hypotheticals that probably don't matter right now or wouldn't have mattered, but they do. And you ask the questions, and again, I'll give you the truth and the answers, as always. And I don't have to tell you that. But you knew it was coming. I mean, again, the blanket response is, I'm not one that's worried about the past or worried about Deflategate. I mean, that was laughable the way that it was. It was stupid. And what it does, it creates really stupid ideas from people like me that suggest that is the karma that has led us down this path of one step forward and two steps back with this organization forever. Yeah, one playoff win. So I would have left it alone. I know you want your pound of flesh, and I know that the general manager at the time, and I know that Jim Irsay, you get mad, but it wouldn't have mattered if you used a damn toaster in that game. They were going to get drubbed. And they got drubbed. But no. From what you hear, when you ask, absolutely. If you want somebody like that with that presence, that level of talent, and what he brings and what he can do, and clearly he can do in a short time within an organization, yeah, you would absolutely want that. There's no comparison. Brady, Rivers, no comparison. But the dude has to want to come here. I mean, Rivers didn't have a problem with coming here. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, Carson Wentz. Everybody's asking me about Carson Wentz. Well, the thing of it is, if it's going to be a 2 first-round pick price tag, can't say that the Colts are going to be involved, even if they have been reported to have interest. I mean, of course they're going to have interest. You better have interest. You don't have a quarterback. I mean, hell, you almost have to have interest in anybody that throws a football because you don't have one. Then you have to have interest. Are they going to bring down that price tag? Is that for real, the price tag? Yeah, what do you think about Wentz? What do you think about Darnold? What do you think about Derek Carr? I mean, things have to happen. It wasn't like last year. What do you think about Brady? What do you think about Rivers? What do you think about Bridgewater? What do you think about Cam Newton? I mean, hell, that was easy. This year's more difficult because not only do you have to say, yeah, you know what? I think you would take that guy. I think I could get with that guy, but that guy's not available. I mean, hell, even the only two guys I've heard, the only two names that I have heard outside, now you get a little bit of, I will say this, I mean, a little bit of Darnold stuff. We'll see where that ends up going. But, I mean, the only names that I have heard, as I've told you prior, would be moving up for Justin Fields, which I think is going to be impossible, and that is Nick Foles. And Nick Foles has to be traded for, too, unless he's released. Which, I mean, who knows? If Wentz ends up in Chicago, you release Foles. I don't know. Foles goes back to Philly. They release Foles. I don't know. But it certainly is more cloudy. It certainly is more muddy than it was this time last year. Because guys could be wowed, wooed, and then they make decisions. Now you kind of have to bend a little bit to what the price tag might be for a team willing to trade a quarterback. And then for other quarterbacks to become available, you have to have some dominoes fall. So, yeah, I mean, too legit, and then, rumors about Darnold that everybody hears. Well, what do you think about that? Well, I think they don't have a quarterback right now. So, yeah, I mean, Wentz over what they have right now, yeah. Darnold over what they have right now? Yeah. That doesn't take a rocket scientist. I don't have to be Vince stinking Lombardi. I don't have anything. Well, they're not going to be desperate. You're not going to go out there as a desperate buyer, and I understand that, and the window is just now barely starting to open. Well, I don't know. You might have sold that one short a little bit. For who? I mean, if you're not desperate and you don't go out and get somebody, thus you don't have a good season, again, you go 5 years and one playoff win. I don't care how genius everybody describes you. There's nothing genius about that. But that is the latest on the quarterback situation. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that they're going to be dropping a couple of first-rounders for a price tag of Carson Wentz. I don't know what a price tag for Darnold might be. I don't know if Carson Wentz goes to Chicago and Nick Foles comes back to Philly. I don't know what that holds. Haven't heard a damn thing about Derek Carr. Sounds like that Arthur Smith wants to have Matt Ryan on board. Now, all this is subject to change because as we get closer to the draft, some of these teams are going to end up taking a quarterback and may no longer have use for the guys that we're talking about right now. But as it stands, that is it. Now, I'm not asking for the Colts to be desperate, but they do have to get somebody. They don't have to be desperate, but it's not like you're living in a great situation right now at that position. Yeah, left tackle. We saw last night the level of importance, did we not, to an edge rusher? I mean, just changed everything dramatically. And the last time there was a consistent edge rusher here, Robert Mathis played. And they've been swinging and missing at that deal for a while. I shouldn't say swinging and missing. That's inaccurate. I mean, Justin Houston did some things. And Kamoko Torres had one good play and one incredibly bad play in Buffalo. But they've been trying to find somebody to do that stinking forever and hasn't worked. I mean, there are some missing parts to this thing. There's no doubt about that. We can dive into that if you like. It was a horrible weekend for the Pacers. I told you on Friday how important the New Orleans game was. Myles missed at the rim. You lose that game. Completely outclassed by Utah yesterday. I don't know if level of talent's catching up with them. I don't know if schedule's starting to catch up with them. I don't know if they're worn out. I don't know. But now you're even at 12-12, and nobody's going to dig on that, and you got 3 consecutive road games on the way. Beginning in Brooklyn coming up on Wednesday, they'll be playing without Kevin Durant, but defense or whatever, just still looking for some signature wins against good teams. But when you have New Orleans at your place, I mean, you got to beat New Orleans at your place. When I talk about games, the second half of a double dip in Charlotte, games that are important, those games are important because when you lose those games, you end up being 500. And then you look at 3 consecutive road games, and you're looking at being under 500, and you don't want to be that. Got some defining moments coming on. And I'm willing to wait and see what they look like with Warren and, what the situation might be with LeVert. But it's tough to talk about that right now in the present when this team is not playing good basketball. Daenerys going to join us. We'll talk about that at 4. Zach Kiefer is going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk about some of these Colts quarterback situations, his thoughts on the Super Bowl and more. Get into the commercials of the Super Bowl. Get into all the other stuff regarding the Super Bowl. People weren't happy with Nance and Romo. Yeah, Romo came out of the gate and was just like this, and now it's just kind of like one of those things. I think that Romo got so propped up initially, and people got tired of hearing about how great Romo was, and now it's open season on Romo. And this is how much money he makes. Now it's open season on Romo. These guys don't make a huge difference. Like, I'm still going to watch it. I don't care. And I'm basically deaf. I have to have the damn TV cranked up so loud anyway. I don't even listen half the time to what they're saying. Doesn't matter to me. I just kind of watch it for myself. Same thing with basketball. I don't need all these dudes telling me about basketball. I just watch it. So I guess it doesn't make the biggest deal to me. Maybe it should. Maybe I should be enamored with somebody. I don't know who I really like. I mean, I like watching our local guys just because, like, for example, Denari's a friend of mine. You know, JJ's a friend of mine. I like watching him for that. But I don't think I tune into an NFL game or a college game. Back in the day I did. Keith Jackson was must listen. And now I don't really care. Just kind of watch it for the game. I watched it last night for the game. And that was that. Man, people are taking big-time swings in Romo right now. Probably could have been diving into, you know, some of those plays, some of those calls in the first half a little bit more. But, again, it was kind of obvious when you can't protect your quarterback, no matter how good your offense is, you're probably going to take a beating. Exhibit A last night, Super Bowl 55. Quick break and we'll return. I got time for you. You guys want to line up anything that we had talked about? IU a winner, Purdue a winner, Butler a winner. Trying to figure out whether or not, that's one thing, and nobody ever told me yesterday, whether it was Raftery or what's his nuts there, Gus Johnson. I thought people we were going back and forth on that final 1.8 and that out of bounds play, length of the floor. I thought that it was meant. People want to know if it was meant to go off the backboard. It was thrown like it was meant to go off the backboard. Garza dove like he was trying to catch it, though. And then Garza, I couldn't tell if Garza was upset because they lost another game or because that play had an opportunity. I do like throwing that thing off the backboard. Had he turned around and, like, squared up, that thing kind of would have gone to him. It came off like a damn rocket, don't get me wrong. But if he would have just turned around, that would have been awesome. I know IU fans would have hated that, but I'd like to see exactly if that thing could have been executed. All right, quick one will return. Your calls and a lot more at JMV 1070 on Twitter, JMV at 1070thefan.com. That is the email address. I'm going to go ahead and log in right now, too. Let's get inside the lounge on YouTube Live. Another glorious Saturday night. You guys take that Saturday night show. Number one on Twitter here locally all night. I play 35-year-old requests and absolutely kill it. You guys are the best. 35-year-old songs by request. We go number one on Saturdays. It's a big deal. And I was just farting around and started that thing up back during the pandemic, and now we're coming in here every Saturday night and doing some work. Wow. Content maker right here, no matter what it is. Just call me Mr. Content. 239-1070. Back with your calls next.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and we know that anything can happen in a game, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet with confidence. BetMGM invites new customers to experience their favorite sports like never before with a risk-free first bet of up to $600. Just sign up using the bonus code BIGJOE600, place your first wager, and get your stake back up to $600 in free bets if you lose. The fearlessness doesn't stop there either. Enjoy BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. All you have to do is download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter that bonus code BIGJOE600 to get up to $600 in free bets on your first wager. Bet confidently on basketball, hockey, and all the sports action at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
If you're an independent floor installer, aren't you tired of always chasing your next job and working without insurance or a retirement plan? Isn't it time for a change? Marburger Flooring has immediate openings for experienced commercial floor coverers in the Indy area. Apply today at carpenters.com. Stop worrying about job security. Start earning high wages, insurance, and a pension while working in schools, hotels, and more with Marburger. So if you're an experienced commercial floor installer ready to change your life, apply today at carpenters.com. That's carpenters.com.
We go out as a group of guys and former players, and they are just blown away with how great my hair looks. I did the multi-unit hair grafting because I was tired of having to wear a hat.
My friend Rick DeMully, Indiana's own former professional football player, and I both know We Grow Hair Indy is the most trusted medical hair restoration clinic and the only company in the Midwest that has the ARTIST robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting. Call 888-724-5129 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com. We Grow Hair Indy PRP Treatments helps me keep my non-transplanted hair. Takes about 45 minutes, and this busy world, it's perfect.
Having the hair that I have now has just given me confidence and just make me feel good about myself.
This year, restore your confidence and grow your hair back. Call for a free in-office or virtual evaluation. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Today, that's 888-724-5129.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is a cash-out refinance? It's doing a cannonball from your porch.
Watch out!
That new car smell. A new college graduate in the family.
With a BA in business and a minor in medieval Renaissance poetry.
Reading the words, paid in full.
Woohoo! Did it!
At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers. Right now, rates are at a record low 1.875%. Call 317-706-GOLD or visit us online at goldenoaklending.com and talk with an experienced local loan officer who will guide you every step of the way. NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Finding the perfect romantic gift you'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
John Salisbury. I have people emailing me, Chris Ballard isn't doing his job. And I'm thinking to myself, it takes two to tango here, baby.
That's the thing about trading. This isn't free agency. When they say Chris Ballard isn't doing his job, because he didn't want to part with more than 2 first-rounders, a third-rounder, and a big-time player for Matt Stafford. Listen, people want to panic. We got to get it done now. I'm not worried about Chris Ballard finding one.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I am in the parking lot right now, hammering a bacon, egg, and cheese, hold the cheese, in preparation to go deep with 4 hits and put on a laser show to the likes of which you have never witnessed in your entire life.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, let's do some calls here. Denary, top of the hour. Zach Kiefer in the 5 o'clock hour. Yeah, I'm not really watching games because of the announcers, to be honest with you. I can figure that out myself. Anybody else out there feel that way? I can figure it out myself. Like, I do like listening to Kevin Harlan, and when somebody runs and then strips while they're running on the field and runs around for a little bit, I do want to hear that call. Yeah, Harlan he makes a game more exciting. Other than that, it's not like I'm going, well, wait a minute here. Who's doing what? I got to watch this because he's doing it. I have friends that do it, and I like them a great deal, and I'm always going to keep it local. I mean, always. And I think we found out, too, after that Milwaukee game on Wednesday, that the Pacers, well, really the Pacers anywhere right now, but the Pacers on national television never ends well, or at least it hasn't. If you want to get that, too, we'll play that a little bit later, Eddie. That was strong with Kevin Harlan. Hey, JMV, I'm not saying it was the wrong decision to move on from McMillan, but this team looks like that they have regressed under Bjorkgren, and it looks like he is in over his head right now. What are your thoughts on that? He is scuffling right now for real. Now, the players got what they wanted. The players wanted the change. I am hard-pressed completely to go overboard, A, because it is still incredibly early, and B, because when he has been good, and there have been more times than not, consistently speaking, when Myles has been good, when McDermott has been good, it's because of this coach. I mean, they're doing stuff for Bjorkgren that McMillan wouldn't allow or would not put them in those situations. So, yes, but these players are going to have to play for him because they're the reason why they made that change. So, as difficult as it might seem on Friday and as pro Myles I am, you have to every single day finish that. Every single day. And part of the problem is you get touched and you're the first one to go down. You get touched and you get bent over backwards and you're shooting it awkwardly. I mean, his team needed him to finish that. You have to finish that. It was drawn up for you. All right, this is your time. You just had made a 3, got him within 1. This is your moment. This is your time. Here you go. And you get right there, and you cannot be turned away by Lonzo Ball. Cannot happen. Got to make that. Got to go with it. Now, it'd be great if they weren't in that situation anyway, if they didn't have to have the bench bring them back from, 18, 17 points down or whatever. It was going to be a great story. I will also say this, too, man. Nate wasn't going to be playing Goga, and I thought Goga sucked. Goga has shown some signs of not sucking. He's shown some signs. Other than that, I mean, when you're 12-12 and you've lost 3 consecutive and you go on the road for 3 straight beginning in Brooklyn on Wednesday night, KC, I mean, it is open for debate, and these players have to remember they're on the hook for this. This is what they wanted. At JMV, I don't watch games because of the announcers either, but Romo is the best. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't care. I like Romo. I like Aikman. Hell, I liked Riddick and Greasy on Monday night. It just really doesn't matter to me. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. All right, let's do some calls at 239-1070. Dak is going to lead us today. Hello, Dak. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, JMV? How are you today?
Great. Thank you for the call.
Hey, man, I just wanted to kind of touch. I've called in a few more times, just kind of trying to get a specific answer about what is the prognosis or the return possibility of Karis LeVert and T.J. Warren this year. Yes, no. When are they coming back?
I kind of expect them both to come back. I for sure expect Warren to come back, but I expect them both to come back. I don't know. The situation is still an unreported, untalked about mystery regarding LeVert, other than that release a couple of weeks ago. But absolutely with Warren. I do. I sit here and I'll tell you right now, I expect them both back at some point.
Okay, my other question, and like I said, I can understand where you're coming from, where you're talking about Myles, he is critical to our team by protecting the rim. Shoots way too many threes, needs to develop a little bit better inside game, inside the paint. But he has to finish that. He has to go in there and try to tear the rim off. I mean, he has to go in there with 2 hands
and
try to tear the rim off.
Got to do it.
The other thing, JMV?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Tom Brady is just – don't get me wrong, the defense for Tampa was, I think, the MVP of the game. He's the greatest. Mahomes may never get back there. Look at these guys like Flacco. Look at the guys like Goff and Ryan and on down the line. Who's to say Tampa not going to make it back, but Kansas City? Mahomes, they blueprinted him last night. They found a way to beat him. It's a copycat league. he may never get back again. But Tom Brady is absolutely the single most
it's incredible
athlete. Love your show.
Thank you, Dak. Appreciate
have
it.
A great day.
You got it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, he is. There's no getting around it. Hey, Brian, via the lounge on YouTube Live, says Myles Turner sucks. His rebounding is awful. What's he averaging per game this year? 6? Yeah, it should be better than that. I don't care about his rim protection. Let me tell you this. You better, because this team is built around it. This team defends for it. I'm just saying. It is true. I mean, this team struggles guarding the way that it is. They can't guard anybody on the perimeter. Can't stay in front of anybody. Well, that's just a product. They just filter it. Well, he is essential. There's no doubt. But you got to finish that. As much as I like the dude and much as I have had his back, and again, to me, there's no relationship. I don't know him. I just do it because part of me, well, I do. Most of me understands this team because I watch them every moment, and I know without him what they would be. Now, if you get somebody and your defense gets better, and then maybe he's a guy that you can trade out of here and it's not going to matter, but these guys can't guard you right now. None of them. But it's not like that I don't look when there are flaws and when there are mistakes and don't talk about it. And the other part about it is, I mean, some of you guys just piss and moan so much it drives me nuts. Like, I will tell you this. So this dude a little bit earlier, and I've always said this, but this dude a little bit earlier, was talking about the Peter King article and about Brady coming here and Rivers and the Colts having Rivers instead of Brady. I will be more apt to listen to anybody's conversation if they don't consistently bitch. Don't consistently piss and moan. If that's all you do, I'm not going to listen to you because you're a phony. You're a fraud. That's your stick. That's your deal. I mean, if you can't balance it out and look at everything, I don't want to listen to you because to me, you're a jackass. But if all you do is gripe and complain about everything, then I'm not going to validate your argument because that's just who you are. I mean, I look and just bitch, gripe, all the way around. Everything sucks. I mean, everything doesn't suck. And that's how I view it. I mean, everything doesn't suck. They're 12-12. They've lost 3 consecutive, but not everything is horrific. I mean, you kind of got to be a little bit fair and balanced and not dive into sensationalism. I don't know if you guys dig that or not. I never thought anybody listening here would. But I'm just not down with that program. You guys, and it's not happening very often. Most of you are pretty level-headed about it. I just don't dig on jackassery. It's just constant griping, gripe. That's kind of how I view it. Anyway, that's just a thought. And honestly, this dude also isn't the worst guy in the world. But, saying I'm going to trust, somebody nationally that would have his ear over somebody like you that hates Brady. I don't hate Brady. The hell do I hate Brady for? And yeah, I mean, if you want to blanket the statement, you would absolutely rather have Brady than you would Rivers. But it wasn't going to happen. He wasn't coming here. Yeah, I know, Evan. I pointed that out last night, too. I felt so terrible. I don't know why it is. So I'm watching, and they're doing that stand-up coming back from the half. And I just noticed this huge P-drip spot right there on Tony Romo's pants, right there in the crotch. And we're dudes. We've all had that. The dreaded pee drip. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you go to the bathroom, you stand up urinal, and he says that he's done, and then you, how should I put this? You know, goes back in the home, and he's not done. I was the first one to notice that last night, and I was embarrassed by it. Oh, man, why did I have to notice that? Did you see that last night, too?
I didn't catch it until you mentioned something about it on Twitter.
Why did I have to? I mean, why me? But we've all had it. It's just it is a dude problem. I mean, all the time. Hey, I'm done. Well, no, you're not. Ah.
He tried covering it up with his hands, too, and then he forgot.
Hey, I'm done. Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry. Oh, that was good. All right, quick one will return. Steve on the other side, Denary, top of the hour. Kiefer, 5 o'clock hour, 93.5, 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
Kids, tell your parents about Forum Sprout of the Month contest where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, it's time to check out the brand new Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood. This place is unreal. It's like a sports bar for your head. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Get an unbelievable haircut, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment for a great price. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men has won double-digit men's styling awards, and their talented stylists are delivering the best haircuts in all of Indy. On State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, John here for Forum Credit Union. Are you ready? Forum Credit Union can help you and make a positive impact on your everyday financial situation. And well, I need that too. Forum Credit Union can help you put together a plan with tips like this. Spend less than you earn. Big time. Build an emergency fund. Track your monthly spending. All really good things Kevin and the gang can help you out with. Listen, we all need this too, and we want to make 2021 certainly a lot better financially than what we saw this past year. Get some stability, get some legs financially beneath us, and Forum Credit Union is here to help. Tips and resources, and you can schedule a financial wellness check today or online for all that info and more. That's forumcu.com.
He's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. The Kirbys have been in business for nearly 4 decades, and son Robert says his parents' business practices won't ever change.
I love the way that they've ran the business, treat the customer right. Word of mouth is our biggest advertisement, so you treat people right and they're going to recommend you 10 times more, so it's been great.
Call Jessica, Lloyd, Robert, and Adam at Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Hey, winter is sliding right in here, right? Love Heating and Air to the rescue. And I know that your heating unit's probably being worked. There are so many different things you can do to make sure that your unit is working efficiently, because if it doesn't, you're not going to be as warm as you want to be, and it's going to cost you money, and you don't want that. That's Love Heating and Air to the rescue. Johnny Chris, the absolute best, and you've trusted him for what, 100 years? Not all 100 years, but for a lot of that 100 years, they're the best. And that's where I want to send you to. If you have any needs whatsoever, especially when the temps get down low and you have some issues, call them anything, emergency-wise, whatever. Also, they're teaming up with state-of-the-art air purification system known as iWave. You can save $125 on the iWave just by mentioning my name to them. It's that easy. Love Heating and Air Conditioning today. The iWave air purification system, $125 off just by mentioning my name to John and Chris. It's love-HVAC online today.
A huge selection of Valentine's Day gifts await at Cynthia's Hallmark on 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
Soccer's Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, too. I know. P-spot in your stand-up is not working. JMV, riddle me this. Brady has been pedestrian his last 2 Super Bowl wins. Does it prove that the entire team wins? Manning had a noodle arm with Denver. Wilson with the Legion of Boom. Rodgers hasn't been back, neither. Breeze. Well, part of it, though, is that's what they believe they have here. Now, I'm not down with that. Well, the window's just about ready to open or just cracking open. It's time to start winning here. Everybody suggests that they should be able to win with those around them, with this team that they have built. And their struggle has been getting a quarterback since 12 screwed them. No, wait a minute. He didn't screw him because, he's just making a life decision. Well, sure. Yeah, make that life decision in March. And don't leave your guys hanging out to dry. That's old news, but they're still searching for that. And, yeah, somebody like that does help. Now, certainly, do I look at Tampa being in a much better situation? Yes, especially at wide receiver. Skill position players like that? Absolutely. I mean, there's no contest. You got Mike Evans for one, and no contest. But can somebody like that help this team? Certainly. Certainly. JMV, Romo was a great announcer, but his Brady man crush ruins the game. JMV, it sounds like you need more Fetty today. Yeah, I've had my fill of Fetty. Premium content, RD. Hey, RD, I'm premium content here, brother. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the Pacers trade their best player and not have his replacement play yet? Maybe that might play into their recent struggles. There's no doubt about that. None. Now, did I expect them to beat Utah yesterday? No, but you got to cash in on New Orleans at home. Did I expect them to beat Milwaukee and Milwaukee? No. You got to beat New Orleans at home. Now, they're a game under 500 at home, too. But no, that is right. That is right. All right, quick one. We shall return. If you guys want to jump in the lounge, I'd appreciate it. That'd be great. Brian says Mahomes choked entire game. He was running backwards instead of taking check down pass. He panicked. My man was under siege. Brian, did you watch the game last night? He choked. He didn't take the what? What? Maybe I'm just did I watch a different game? He didn't take the check down. Mahomes choked. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have watched something different here. I mean, that's okay if that's what you saw, but that is absolutely stratospherically opposite of what I watched last night. It is. I will have to look up the definition of choke. Those are the type of conversations that are going along inside the lounge right now on YouTube Live. Denary, top of the hour, Zach Kiefer in the 5 o'clock hour from The Athletic. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Mike Wells.
You talk about one step forward, 2 steps back. We saw that in 2018. They took a step forward back when Luck led them to the playoffs. Then they took like 3 steps back when Luck retired. You take another step forward with the playoffs with Phillip Rivers. Now you're potentially looking at a step or 2 back, depending on who the quarterback is going to be next season. Not a great position to be in for the Colts.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's John here for CarX Tire and Auto. They got a tire sale going on right now. Anybody notice here recently, especially when you get some slick conditions, that maybe your tires are doing more spinning because they're not getting any grip? Now's a great time to go into any of the 13 area CarX locations and take advantage of this. You can save $140 on a set of 4 tires, and we're talking major brands here: Continental, Cooper, General, CarX Tire will also beat any competitive tire offer out there. Serving Indy for 40-plus years. I love the guys over there in Greenwood. I do, right in front of Menards, 135. Stop in there and say hello. Great staff in Carmel, over in Beech Grove off of Thompson Road. You're going to find some great folks over there, too. South Side, that's US 31 and Stop 11 Road. Just great places around central Indiana. To find one of the 13 Joe Childers run locations of CarX, you can go online, carx.com today.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at betrivers.com. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Join the Crew Car Wash Unlimited Club and wash whenever you want. Sign up at any of their locations to get unlimited washes and unlimited savings.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years, 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday, noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Hey, JMV, everybody's cold out there. I mean, colder at night, too. The one thing I hate this time of year is a possibility of frozen pipes. Really, I don't like it, but you know what? I feel good. Here's why. Because I have the trust of Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. They are the best in any situation whatsoever, and especially great in big-time frozen pipe situations like these, like could be happening right now, or certainly this weekend when we go down into the negatories temperature-wise. It's LD Smith Plumbing, 24/7 after-hours service as well, and a local company. Now, this, for my listeners out there, all right, you mentioned my name to LD Smith Plumbing, Lance and the team, you get $50 off any service. That's $50 off any service. LD Smith Plumbing. Right now, 317-284-9526. 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers hit the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. Wednesday night at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something? I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Well, thank you for joining us so far. Inside the lounge, you guys are having a good time. We're having a spirited debate. Yeah, I'm not looking at last night as a choke for Mahomes. I'm just not. Ryan Sherrill chimes in with JMV. I'm praying the Bears overpay for Wentz so the Colts can avoid that. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form they're going to give up 2 first-rounders for it. Yeah, I don't think there's any way whatsoever. All right, if you guys want to dive in right now, too. Inside the lounge, 239-1070, the number, email address, jmv@1070thefan.com. And on to it, I am laughing about something. I know, I'm the one that brought it up, and I'm the one that brought it up last night. The P-spot stand-up is never, ever good. Never. Hey, JMV, great show. With the Buccaneers D-line as dominant as any you've seen in the Super Bowl, they were problematic for sure. They and that entire defense and Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, that was the MVP. JMV, maybe the 20-second hand wash splattered Romo's pants. The problem is it doesn't matter. When you have a drip spot right there, it's a pee spot. Doesn't matter because you can't explain it. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, well, I got that wash in my hand. I dribbled, drinking a bottle of water, whatever. Now, if it's right there on your pants, shooting a television, stand up during it's a pee spot. There's no way around it. And that's coming from somebody. I walked out on 13 one time to do an HMON stand-up, which is a huge monitor behind me. And I was a train wreck often, and I loved it. I think people just tuned in during weekend sunrise in the day to see if I would hyperventilate or if I would cuss. One of the two. But I went out there once, my pants were unzipped the entire time. I know of what I speak. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. Fox Sports Indiana play-by-play man. He is Chris Denary. Have you ever done a stand-up and noticed that you had a spot on the front of your pants?
That's why you wear a dark suit or dark pants.
Correctamundo.
I mean,
Correctamundo. You can't wear the khaki stuff, can you?
No, that is problematic, and I saw that on Twitter last night. And khaki pants, whether you were washing your hands or whatever, it's a problem. And
it's a pee spot. I mean, it doesn't matter. By definition, that is any spot on your crotch is a pee spot, no matter what it is.
So you're better off, as dark a suit or pants as you can wear that protects you from any embarrassment like that. Because there's no question that, I've gone and washed my hands, and you look down, and you would worry. No, there is absolutely that is one of the biggest worries you would have. That now we don't have that problem now because Quinn and I are in two separate camera shots and we're seated, so we don't have to worry about that. But dark pants. That's the way to go.
12-12 right now, and losers of 3 consecutive. And we kind of bummed out after it. And really, Utah was good. And defensively, they did as good a job, I think, as anybody has against Utah here recently. The problem I thought more was Friday night. I mean, that was a game you absolutely needed to win at home.
Oh, no question. And, I'll look even back at yesterday. What was frustrating is Utah comes in. They had just scored 138 in Charlotte. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league. We know how good they are defensively. That's the type of game when they shoot 40% and make 13 threes, you need to try to get. And the Pacers just were not good enough offensively yesterday to do that. And Friday night, you get down 18. You've got to rely on your reserves, which they did a tremendous job. But as you look at the last 5 or 6 games, you've lost 5. You've played a tougher schedule, I think, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Utah in that run. But you just have to find a way to be better. I don't think any of them thought that 12-12 is where they wanted to be right now. But at the same time, I was listening earlier, you are without 2 players that would contribute about 40 points to your scoring load. And you're playing some bench guys that are in starters minutes who are doing a nice job, but they would be valuable reserves for you. So it's an excuse, I guess, but you have to get through it because you're not going to have Karis LeVert and TJ Warren, in my estimation, until, and we don't know this at all, I would say you wouldn't see them until sometime, late March, second half of the season, early April. Yeah. So you've got to do it with the players that you have and have to find a way to be better.
So, Chris Denary with us. Is there any way you think they can improve with the personnel they have right now on their perimeter D? And that goes both ways here. It's dribble drive, which I know oftentimes they find themselves just kind of filtering their guy to Myles there in the pivot, but especially guarding three-point shooters, because that is not good. And I, for one, it seems tough for me to think that they're going to be able with their personnel presently to improve a great deal on that.
Well, I think you can be a little bit better. I think the three-point line is a problem. They are dead last in that category, but it's interesting, John. I was running some numbers. They're like 2 field goal attempts away per game from being like 15th. I mean, that's where the 3-point numbers are right now. I mean, if you're not making 14 to 15 threes per night, that's what's happening in the NBA. The other night, Milwaukee, before they had played the Pacers, I think 3 of their last 4 opponents had made 23s. So, part of it is just being more in tune to the line. I asked Malcolm Brogdon about that. I said, what's the biggest change since you've come into the league, 5 years ago? And he said, absolutely, it's the 3-point shot and having to get out and cover that even a lot more than you did five years ago. I do think they can get better. I think you've said it, and part of their defensive mindset is a little bit different than it's been in the past and different from what you saw in Utah last night. Quinn Snyder mentioned before the game, one of the things that they don't do is they don't really go for steals. They try to keep you in front, and they're not really concerned about points off turnovers. This Pacers team is predicated on points off turnovers, getting some easy baskets so you don't have to go against the other team's half-court defense a lot. And they do funnel more toward the rim than we've seen in the past, figuring that they have a shot blocker there. So it's part and parcel. Part of it, they do have to do a better job of containing the dribble drive. Clarkson and Mitchell were very good at that yesterday.
I'd agree. You know what, Chris?
It's just the philosophy.
Yeah, and not to interrupt you either, but I think that if you're Quinn Snyder, you can say that when you have that offensive weaponry, that arsenal with what they have in the starting lineup, and then Clarkson coming in off the bench who can score too. I think it's easier not to really put a priority or a premium on points off of turnovers.
Yeah, and I think if you look at last year's team, and it's pretty much the same personnel, though you've now traded Oladipo, you're waiting on LeVert, and right now you don't have T.J. Warren, who was your leading scorer. Is this team struggled to score at times? They were a little bit better defensively than this team is now, but this team has been a top 5 to 10 scoring team this year, and up until recently, has been one of the better field goal shooting teams in the league. So they just have to find a way to be more consistent. In the last 2 games, it's been a real struggle for Brogdon and Sabonis, who have been so good all year. Domas was 3 for 13 from the field on Friday. He was below 500 last night. Brogdon has not made a 3-point shot in each of the last 2 games, and that's the first time that's happened this year. So when your 2 best players are struggling, that is a problem, especially in the offensive end.
So Chris today with us, Fox Sports Indiana. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And in Friday night, now obviously I have supported Myles when most of everybody else as a Pacer fan has not. However, after that made 3, and then he gets the ball, they're down 1 with that final possession. He's got to finish that. And I know it's a situation, a do-or-die situation, but over Lonzo Ball, you have to finish that. It wasn't like you were going up against Gobert or somebody like that. You got to be able to finish that, and that was unfortunate Friday night.
Yeah, I give Lonzo Ball a lot of credit because I thought when Myles went to the rim that he might have a clear path. He would have Gobert in the way. Yeah. I think the one thing that might have played in his head is he had been called for 2 offensive fouls. But
True.
I think in that instance, you just have to attack the rim and put the pressure on the official to make the call. And
see, I don't mind him going, Adam. I don't mind him. Those 2 offensive fouls you talked about, good. He was being aggressive, and that is what he has been, and we have seen this year compared to what we have seen in the past. And I like that. It didn't bother me that much.
Oh, no, there's no question. I mean, he's been much more aggressive this year. He's been much more in an attack mode going to the rim, and that was unfortunate. And you saw him at the end of the game when he walked off the court. He had his fist and he was pounding his head. He felt that he had let his teammates down, but he hit a big 3 to put them even in position to try to win that game. So, it's just something that you and I have talked over the years, and we've talked this year. We knew there would be some bumps in the road. Things were good early. Through the first 12, you were 8-4. Now you've lost 8 of the last 12 very easily next Monday, and I know you go on the road for 3 straight. You could be talking about a 3-game win streak. So this team just needs to be more consistent, They've got to have Brogdon and Sabonis play better on this road trip. I mean, they have been really good this year, but as I said, in these last two games, they both have struggled offensively, and that has hurt this team.
All right, so Brooklyn coming up on Wednesday, and no Kevin Durant.
Right, but they still have James Harden and Kyrie Irving, though Irving didn't play in their loss to Philadelphia. He was out as well. They just had Harden. So it'll be interesting to see Brooklyn on Wednesday. They are in the second night of a back-to-back. They're on the road on Tuesday. And then you're in a back-to-back at Detroit on Thursday. They don't have a good record. Jeremy Grant's playing out of his mind. They beat the Lakers earlier in the year, and they just got beaten double overtime in Staples Center. And then you've got an Atlanta team that is right around 500 that's playing some pretty good basketball. John, the one thing that I saw, I made a note yesterday, there are 18 teams in the NBA that are between 4 games over 500 and 4 games under 500. I mean, there is a real jam of teams that are right around the 500 mark, and I think it makes it difficult this year. I think there is more parity in the NBA this year. The teams that have been, quote-unquote, bad, I don't think are bad right now. I think they're all hanging around 500. I mean, Chicago, Zach LaVine's coming in off a 39-point game. There are a lot of teams with a lot of good players, and if you're not ready to go, you will be beaten.
Hey, do you know this? And I know fans have been back in the building, and you had mentioned that in the last couple, certainly. When will they make their next decision on staying where they are with fans, or maybe hopefully at some point moving that number up?
Well, it's interesting. There's surprisingly, in the first half of the season, and the second half of the schedule's not out yet, there are only 4 more games left. Chicago, Golden State, it might be San Antonio, and Denver. And so the next home game is a week from tonight against the Bulls. I could tell that there were more people in the building. I'm going to guess there were somewhere around 2,000. I think the Marion County Health Department has said that it could be up to 4,500, but the Pacers have wanted to move it along slowly, and I think they've limited it to somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500. I think it's all about watching these numbers. It's clearly all about vaccinations, making sure people wear their mask, being smart about it. But we've gotten no indication as of yet. But I think they've done a great job. I look around and I see the people are wearing their masks. They're socially distant. The way the Pacer Sports and Entertainment ticketing crew has spaced people out in pods. So people are still getting to enjoy the experience. They just have to do it a little bit differently.
Hey, by the way, I like Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I know that goes without saying. He's good, and he seems like he's a hell of an influence on that team.
Oh, he's a tremendous player, and he's got great range. Is he a superstar? He's probably not there yet, but he's really, really close. And John, here's the thing is he was the 13th pick in the draft.
Yep.
I mean, if you look across the NBA, there are a lot of misses in the top 10. And I've said this all the time when people, over the summer are talking about trades and do this for draft picks. There's no guarantee that those, early draft picks will amount to anything. A lot of times we see teams put teams together like Utah. 9 of their 14 players on their main roster, not counting their two-way players, are either undrafted or second-round draft picks. Mitchell is the 13th pick. Bojan Bogdanovic was a second-round pick. So, I think it's all about how you do that, how you do it through trades. I think, the Pacers have done a nice job. We still, again, just like last year, we have not seen what this team has, and this year it's even worse because you're down 2 players. Last year you were down 1. Oladipo came back and you lost Jeremy Lamb. Then you went to the bubble and you lost Domantas Sabonis. Right now you've lost T.J. Warren and you haven't seen what you have in Karis LeVert. He's a really good player. So it's still way too early, even a third of the way through the season, I think, to evaluate what this team has. The question will be, where will you be record-wise when hopefully you get those two players back?
Hey, Eddie Gill had on a sweet bow tie yesterday, by the way, too. That was a sweet. What is it? An ensemble? Is that what you guys call it? Was it a sweet ensemble?
I didn't see the pants he was wearing because he was up in the Fox loft, and we are separated. But I told Quinn there is absolutely no way I could pull that off. He looked outstanding with that bow tie and that jacket.
He did. Hey, my friend, I appreciate you more than you know, and I know you're probably well adjusted now to life without going on the road and doing it from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Are you in the arena itself when you do the home games?
Yes, we're up by radio.
Okay.
We're basically where road radio used to be, and so we're just to the right of Mark Boyle and his crew. So yeah, it's a great vantage point. I had that vantage point for many, many years doing Indiana Fever games on radio on 1070 The Fan. So I'm used to that vantage point. And then for these next three games, we'll be in the studio just as we have been doing the road games. So,
I didn't know if you heard Bogdanovich, what he said, get teed up yesterday or not. I didn't know if you heard that.
No, we couldn't hear. But there are some times if it's quiet enough that you can hear what a player says on the mic, but we could not. I figured he had
Fran McCaffrey yesterday. Iowa's coach got teed up, and you could hear. I mean, he just F-bomb City right there.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things. Even mask up, you can hear.
Yeah. No, I think the one thing is I've been really pleased again with the fans. Just the noise that. It's great to hear live reaction, and our people have done a great job with the canned crowd and all that kind of stuff, and what they did in the bubble in Orlando. But there's just something about having the actual people cheering makes you feel good, and it makes it harder now for me to watch some of the other games that are on in places that don't have crowds yet, where they just have the tarps that go the entire way up the lower level. So, again, hats off to our crew at Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Pacer Sports and Entertainment for, making the experience safe and enjoyable.
Hey, pleasure as always. We'll be watching, as I normally do. So I'm okay if, the Pacers aren't on national TV.
How was Mom, though, after Friday night's game? Was she disappointed?
Not good. She thought Myles got fouled.
Yeah.
So I tried to explain that, and she just wanted to cuss me out, I think. So I tried to explain, saying, well, it wasn't a foul. You got fouled, So, yeah, that was it's difficult. She's hanging in, though. I mean, she's hanging in, but yeah, it was.
Well, I know her favorite player that she liked in the starting lineup, who's doing a nice job off the bench, Doug McDermott.
She loves McDermott. She does. So. He's completely different this year compared to what we have seen in the past. I think people are surprised that he didn't. That this is the first time they've ever seen him be able to go and attack the basket. And he attacked Gobert 2 or 3 different times yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he was the 6th all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. He is very capable scorer. And what he's done, John, is he's eliminated the mid-range game, basically. It's threes and get to the rim, and he's doing a really good job at that.
Chris, appreciate you, man. We'll talk again soon. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, John.
So, Chris Denary, Fox Sports Indiana on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I put up here inside the lounge on YouTube Live, and these guys are having at it like a dog at a bone here. I put up there, Wentz, Darnold, do anything for you? I haven't heard a damn thing about Wentz other than 2 first-rounders would be incredibly way too high for them to think about doing. And as far as Darnold is concerned, I would assume I could tell you they'd feel that out. Yeah, the problem that you have is you have to. And, and Chris may say, well, we're not going to dive into this as if we're desperate, but you have to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive. And you can say, well, the window is just now opening. But listen, the owner comes out 2 weeks ago this Thursday and then talks about just how great that Chris and Frank are and how much he's enjoying what they're doing and what they're putting together and what he believes they can put together. But, man, that is fluff. That is rah-rah, and that's what you would expect. I mean, he's going to sell that publicly. And there have been things that are done right, but it still doesn't mean he doesn't have a great deal of expectations. Next year, the year after that, there's no doubt about it. It's just an ongoing saga. And by now, I think everybody clearly understands what the former number 12 did to this team. But a 3 years later, you got to go out and find, it's an absolute thing. It's not, well, hopefully you do, but if you don't, whatever. You got to make that transition. And we're still waiting on it. No question about that. All right, 239-1070. I do have time for your calls right now. If you would like to drop that in. Hey, by the way, anybody watching IU and Iowa, I mentioned this at the outset of the show. Anybody watching that game yesterday and IU's win, did you think that final play, 1.8, full court pass off the glass on the other end, do you think that was planned to ricochet, that Garza was going to try to get? Because it looked to me like Garza was diving toward the backboard like he was trying to catch it. I thought if Garza had just turned around and maybe acted like he was blocking out, that ball would have ricocheted pretty damn near right there. And when you think about it, 1.8 off the glass, they still ended up getting a desperation kind of half-ass shot out of it, but I thought, man, if Garza would have turned around, that might have made it a little bit interesting. I'm not suggesting it was going to work, but it might have made it a little bit interesting had he just turned around and maybe acted like he was blocking out or stood right there. But IU got a win, and a win they desperately needed. All right, 239-1070 is the number. You can dial us up, talk about Colts quarterback stuff, Super Bowl stuff we'll get back to in a moment. The Lounge on YouTube Live, you can voice your opinion in there and watch and listen as well. And you got the email, and you got at JV1070 on Twitter with 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Hey there, fellas. It's JMV. Listen up here. I got some great advice for you. You ready? Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll love is, get this, easy. At Diamonds Direct this Valentine's Day, they will get you hooked up. Are you ready? They have expanded selection of designer jewelry, and this is the best part. 5 years, 0 interest financing. 5 years, 0 interest. Diamond stud earrings, eternity band, layered necklaces, pendants, colored gemstones. You know what? I don't know what they are, but I do know that my wife digs it when I go there, and then they have those educated folks that are going to tell me all about it, and I'm going to get the best deal, great warranties, an incredible selection, and guarantees that you're not going to find anyplace else. And then the kicker to this, it's one-stop shopping. It is hassle-free, which I dig. Especially for Valentine's Day, I have been swinging and missing on this ever since I would hand out Valentines in the class back in elementary and give those little candy hearts out that said hug me and stuff like that on it. I've been whiffing that long. Now is the time to finally step up in a big way. With Diamonds Direct, before Valentine's Day, 5 years, 0 interest. Open this Sunday, noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct. That's Keystone at the Crossing.
Well, the install of your new Anderson 400 series windows is done. They look great. Piece of cake to install. I have them in my own home.
We love them, John.
Beautiful.
They really last, so you won't be needing me to fix anything either. This is probably goodbye. Take care.
That was a tough goodbye. Worse than when the kids went to college.
I love our windows, but John was our contractor.
Anderson 400 series are the windows contractors trust most. Learn more at andersonwindows.com. 2020 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors. Visit andersonwindows.com for warranty details.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt's son Kevin says one simple saying from his dad affects him every day at work.
Especially when you go out and do sales and service calls and collect money and do all this stuff that's important to a lot of people. He always said the number one thing I remember from him is just fair and honest wins every time.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Small business owners, is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Hey, it's John for Love, Heating and Air Conditioning, 317-353-2141, the best in the business. Making sure you're staying warm and comfortable in your home right now, that is priority number one, no matter the level of job that you have. If you just need an upgrade or maybe, I don't know, a change in the filter, you got to remember that too, especially this time of year. Or if you just have a breakdown and you don't want to be freezing in your home, get my friends that love heating and air over there to make sure everything's going okay. 317-353-2141. John and Chris love the absolute best. And also, as they team up with iWave, the state-of-the-art air purification system, you mention that to them. Hey, I heard on JMV that you have this iWave thing, and I would love to have that in my home. That is going to net you $125 off the purchase price. That's all you got to do. I'm telling you, clean, incredibly clean, the best breathable air in your home with iWave. $125 off right now with Love Heating and Air. 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. We're a month into 2021. Mortgage interest rates are still sitting at these all-time lows, but we don't know how much longer that will last. Don't miss your opportunity to lock a rate in the twos. You could be saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Start saving now before it's too late. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Tom Brady won another Super Bowl. And when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. At what point did it feel like it was just a sense of inevitability?
The deep ball Brady threw to Mike Evans.
Interference, number 21.
I thought that play.
If you're talking about it,
Kind of felt like after the second touchdown to Rob Gronkowski. We've seen this move before.
We're talking about it.
Todd Bowles and that defense deserve the MVP.
Your home for sports. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
This situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part. We're just the guys to do it.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Did everybody out there absolutely dislike the Weeknd's halftime performance? Anybody out there like it? Am I okay to say that I thought it was fine? What the hell am I looking for there? I mean, he put on a show, sang some songs. The sound wasn't great. I mean, I knew what I was getting into. I mean, it's not a rock band. And the NFL's trying to certainly, and they have been for a while, to sell a younger audience that might be fringe and try to lock them in. I miss the Miley Cyrus Billy Idol thing. I'd rather just have Billy Idol by himself. He just not decide to go out there and do Dancing with Myself. That's a really good self-gratifying tune right there. Eddie, do you like self-gratifying tunes?
Yeah, I do, kind of. Depends on my mood.
Me too. Oh, man. I saw, what did I see the weekend? On Saturday Night Live a year ago, something like that. I think that was the first time he performed that song, Blinding Lights. I thought it was fine. I Can't Feel My Face. I mean, I know 2 or 3 songs, but I'm just not going to be all bent out of shape about it. I mean, I love the Foo Fighters, but the Foo Fighters can't do everything. One of these days they may do it, but this is fine. It was his show. And let me say, it doesn't really matter, because if they do something that the old farts like, then the young folks are going to hate it. And then the weekend is more angled toward the younger generation. All the old farts are going to hate it. They're probably better off. They already have the old farts. You guys are all there. It's better off keeping it the way that it is. But was it really that big of a deal? I mean, was it shocking that the sound wasn't that great? I mean, is it normally great? But see, I've said this before. I said this about, because everybody makes fun of Coldplay and they hate Chris Martin. I didn't mind it years ago when Coldplay did that. Matter of fact, I have said this. Coldplay I saw at Bankers Life Fieldhouse years ago was one of the better shows I've seen. Now, I will say this, because I own stuff. I have been, what I'm talking about right now, especially with a band like Coldplay, just one of those bands that everybody hates. I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing with Nickelback in the past. So I'm not without my faults when it comes to that. I just had zero with the weekend. I think most people that had an issue probably were old farts. JMV, why is he called The Weekend and there's no E in end? You guys, do you know that story, Eddie? I believe when he was coming up with a name for himself, he's from Canada, and Canada already had a band named The Weekend, and they spelled it as you would normally spell weekend. So he just took the E out of it. Learn something new every day, baby. Steve says, I'm 45, and I thought The Weekend was an okay show. I enjoyed it for what it was. JMV, Shakira and J-Lo killed it last year, but mostly because I love Shakira. Yeah, and, I mean, we also like bumps and cleavage. I mean, seriously, they could have gone out there last year and, made music by making fart sounds with their armpits. And oh, yeah, that's great. That's the best performance I've ever seen. It's exactly how we dudes do with films. It can be the worst film of all time, but if somebody runs across there and doesn't have a top on, we're going to think it's Academy Award nominated. It's how we work. JMV, with the expectations of Super Bowl halftime shows so low, will there ever be a bad one? No, because we live in a world of pissers and moaners. There's never going to be a good one again. Ever. Because somebody's always going to find fault with it. Well, this is what this guy said 5 years ago. Well, this is what side of the aisle this guy's on. Well, it's always going to be something. It's never not. So, no, we will never have that. I don't know I don't know if you're ever going to have a universal favorite again. I mean, no matter who you bring out there. If Prince were still alive, Prince would be a universal favorite. Because I think if people were to look at it, they would gauge, and not just because it was Super Bowl 41 and the Colts won, but most people would suggest that Prince was and put on the best halftime show in Super Bowl history. Joe writes this. McCaffrey blames bad pass on Jumbotron, said it eliminates a higher pass. Pass was intended for Garza, not off backboard. He and Izzo's excuses are comical. Well, see, and on the broadcast, I think Raftery thought that they intended to throw it off the glass. And my point after that was, if you watched it, and I ran it back a couple of different times, had Garza turned around and acted like underneath the basket he was blocking out, it would have ricocheted right to him. But he went, as you say, he went to the glass just trying to catch the pass, and it was too high and too hot. Hey, JMV, until the dude with the halftime show is named The Weeknd with no E in his name, now I really hate him. There's no E. Well, there are 2 E's. They're just not 3. There are not 3 of them. There are 2 E's. I think you guys like Bruno Mars, too. That's all right. I liked it, too. Here's the other thing, too. If somebody is piping in a little bit of sound, that doesn't bum me out. If it's not completely all natural, it doesn't bum me out. Because I'm going to tell you what, state-of-the-art shows or performances in the past, I give you American Bandstand. And American Bandstand, any of those shows, Solid Gold, any of those shows that ever had musical acts, especially if they were dancing, every one of them is lip-syncing. You guys ever see the video of the Beastie Boys on American Bandstand, maybe in 87? They were on there promoting License to Ill and doing Fight for Your Right to Party. And they completely lip-synced that thing up. I think they got mad about it, too, or something. I can't remember, but they all did. I don't mind it. All right, Sonny is at 239-1070. Sonny, hello, how are you?
What's going on, JMV?
Go ahead.
One, you rocked this Saturday night, man. 2,
Hey, it was good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to get winners, too. I've got some winners to give away some stuff from Saturday. No, you guys do it because you make us number one. It's a big deal on Saturday, especially on Twitter when we trend number one around here with everything else going on. It's pretty impressive.
And 2, if you don't like the halftime show, go out and have a stiff drink or, do what Smokey would do or Spinelli. You know what I'm saying?
You talking firing one up in the hall or something like that is what you're saying. Yeah. All right.
Go away from it and enjoy yourself. But what I was going to ask you, just your opinion, man. We know Brady's coming back. We know he handpicked 87, 81, and Fournette.
Yeah.
Do you think he should handpick somebody else? Or let that defense go and add somebody else to number 45 because that's my boy right there.
I think they'll be able to. I mean, Shaq Barrett's number probably grew.
Yeah.
Big time last night, did it not? Off season wise.
Big time all season.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be. I mean, I haven't followed their story financially, but he's a free agent, and I'm assuming will he get franchise tagged?
I'm hoping they do that. I don't know if they've done it yet, but because that would really help them. They could repeat, man.
Well, I mean, if you got Tom Brady at the helm, if you got Tom Brady on the helm, anything's possible right there.
Yeah, not like Brady. It's not the Buccaneers.
What else you got, Sonny?
But that was just it, man.
All right, buddy.
You really rocked the show, man. And,
thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah. Sonny, you're going to love it on Saturday because I'm going to mix in some love songs. So that means we're going to do I'm going to do some 90s slow jamming, too. It's not all love songs, but I'm going to do some Jodeci and some Blackstreet and some H-Town, Silk. Speaking of self-gratification. That'd be Mike Wells on Saturday night right there with all those songs rolling. Alex says, I've watched the Puppy Bowl at halftime for the last 5 years and never been disappointed. Yeah, what's the best part of that, too? When they run and play or when they poop or pee? I love it when, man, they're just running around and playing. Hey, play, we're playing. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you go, hey, I just got to grow a tail right here. A second tail. Yeah, Laney digs on that. Tyler King says Janet Jackson and Timberlake. Yeah, because they exposed her half rackage right there. Remember how everybody freaked out? Like, I was over at the other place at the time, and the then Clear Channel, I mean, they just started cutting in it. I mean, just went wacky. Like, Bob and Tom had all these bits, and there's a dude over there named Drew Carey that had to go through every one of them and cut out. I mean, you never had seen a company brown-nose the FCC more than they did. Oh, we've got to end this. All these songs that are cussing. Now you've got to play. You can't play Q95 any longer, the Charlie Daniels Band, and Devil Went Down to Georgia. You got to play the Son of a Gun one, not the SOB one. Because we got to smooch the rear end of the FCC. That was so funny. Just everybody overreacted to that. Would that even be a blip on the radar anymore? It's funny. JMV. Guess Metallica and AC/DC would be too hard for some of the masses Super Bowl. No, I mean, I'd be all right with it. I mean, really, they're not even like Metallica was hard in the 80s, right? Like Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, that was hard, but they've been, I want to say softer. Maybe I should. Since that point in time, you know, those will be okay. There's nothing wrong with it. The wardrobe malfunction. You know, we got to change everything. Drew Carey, get in there and start editing all these Bob and Tom bits all the way back to 1983. They're too dirty. And we got to smooch the behind. Hey, JMV, I emailed weeks before the Super Bowl and said nobody wanted to hear the overplayed song by The Weeknd. Everyone continued to play it out the wazoo. Then the halftime show sucked. Go figure. Hopefully that song will die and go away. Sean Patrick, why do you got to be that way? There's nothing wrong with it. I guarantee you this. I bet you your favorite song is so overplayed. Everybody's favorite song's overplayed. And if it's not, you're a liar. Liar's too harsh. If it's not, you're not telling me the truth by virtue of the subject matter. Everybody's favorite song is overplayed. That's why it's a favorite song. If it sucked, it wouldn't be overplayed. I got to deal with Meatloaf. Paradise by the Dashboard Light is not only the worst song of all time, but it goes, 8-9 minutes? And it makes it seem like 38 minutes. I got to live with that. Zach Kiefer, top of the hour. We talked Buccaneers and Chiefs from last night, too. We'll dive back into that and get into the Colts casual quarterback conversation with Zach coming up at the top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
Kids, tell your parents about Forum Sprout of the Month contest where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage application tool that leaves you with more time to take the dog for a long evening walk. Good dog. Plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie.
No, it's my turn.
It's not.
Okay, double feature it is.
And still have time to clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing.
Toby!
Bad dog. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers throughout their lives. Right now, rates are at a record low 1.875%. Take advantage of today's low rates by visiting us online at goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline, a simple tool that will make your next home loan or refi a breeze. And remember, at Golden Oak, we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, JMV, last night was a blast. It really was. But we're moving on to a little bit more of a round ball feel here, right? And we love betting on basketball. It's one of the favorite things to do, finding a new player with props and game props, stuff like that, right? So FanDuel Sportsbook, you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called Same Game Parlay Bet, and you can find them at FanDuel Sportsbook. We're talking player, point total, rebounds, assists, money line, over, under, point spread, all that, and it is a blast. And right now, new and existing users, we're talking both. You can get up to $25 back each day if your parlay falls one leg short with Same Game Parlay Insurance. You heard it right, every day. Same Game Parlay Insurance. So easy to use, and live betting is a blast. And now, you get the $25 back. Give it a try, or do it if you're an existing user. FanDuel Sportsbook, download it. Use the promo code JMV. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $25. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Listen closely. A gentle Gulf breeze floats through the air. Emerald green waters gently lap the shoreline. Palm trees sway gently to and fro. Let your senses come alive in St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, where miles of white sand beaches meet world-class sunsets, where all things vibrant and vivid come together. Plan your next escape at embraceyoursenses.com.
It's PAI, WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129. I'm telling you, if you want coverage back on your hair, yes, you can get that again. And let Darren Andrews explain everything to you. I have been talking this group up for 5 years now, and what it comes down to is this. If you want the option of real hair growth again, it is there for you. Multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, all that is there for you at 888-724-5129. So it's that simple. If you want the option of your real, and this is your real growing hair, you got it with PAI. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Finding the perfect romantic gift you'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
It is cold outside, and that's an understatement, and it's supposed to get colder as well. One thing that really concerns me about this time of year would be frozen pipes. But, like I've been concerned in the past, not anymore, because I've got the backing of the great folks, Lance and the team at LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. I don't worry about that anymore because 24/7, 365, they are available for anything. Just a minor fix, something that really needs to be done desperately because of frozen pipes. It is Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing that you call, 317-284-9526, 24/7, 365. Remember that number. And for my listeners right now, you mentioned my name. $50 off any service. That's $50 off any service. LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526, online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Join me tomorrow. We're going to continue talking about who should be the quarterback of the Colts and get you ready for college basketball. That's right. We got a lot of college hoops this week, and we're still looking for a quarterback. Join me tomorrow.
The Ride with JMV.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I guess the only thing I can say is I'll promise to keep rocking and rolling, making better films.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Yeah, I touch myself by the Divinals. Self-gratification. Self-gratifying song right there. What else? Turning Japanese. Longview. Dancing with Myself. She-Bop. I've done a category on Saturday night. So I know. It's from Steve. I used to work at a music video station, and I was told by the time I'm tired of hearing a song, the average listener is just now hearing it. So don't tell any talent a song is overplayed. They've heard it way more than you have. Well, I know lots of these folks don't want to play those songs anymore that you love so much. It's like that time. Remember when Pauly Shore happened to be at Twin Peaks, and I was doing the show, and Pauly Shore just walks over, and I go, "Hey, you're Pauly Shore." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm sitting up here at the bar. You want me to do a segment with you?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And I wanted to talk about Encino Man, and he goes, "No, I'm just kind of over that." And I thought, well, what the hell are we going to talk about then? Wait a minute. It's all anybody wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear about anything else. It's Encino Man. See, if it were me, I would embrace that. I was in Encino Man, and it was awesome. I mean, it wouldn't bother me that I'm known for that, and that's all anybody wants to talk about. Never. Yeah, as long as we don't talk about Encino Man, because, I'm just kind of tired of that. I thought, well, what shall we talk about then? That's about it. That is it. That's all anybody wants to hear. But yes, that's what happens when things, get overdone, overplayed, whatever. But I'm down with, for example, if I'm William Zabka and all anybody ever wants to talk about is John Lawrence, that's all I'm talking about. That's history right there, baby. And people love it. People love you. People love those folks for those roles, for those songs. Man, embrace that. I get down off my soapbox here. Zach Kiefer on the other side. Any truth to the Darnold stuff that's going on? Do the Colts have any interest in Carson Wentz? It seems like the 2 first-rounders is going to be way too much. And we'll drop some other stuff in with Zach Kiefer of The Athletic coming up next. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Would you all just be completely, ridiculously disappointed if it ended up being Jacoby Brissett? Would it be like, I'm not getting interested until and if the Colts win a few games with this guy? I don't know, but I think the more this goes on, the more it's a real possibility Jacoby's going to be in the mix.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Connecticut's the best water out there, 2021. If it's got you thinking about it, right? I need the best water possible. Let Connecticut go to work. It's Joe, John, and Dennis, my friends at Connecticut, with the best prices of the year going on right now, especially with that K5 in-home drinking water station, which is a game changer. All right, get those great deals. Just tell them I sent you. Northeast Side Castleton, Southside US 31, Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app, download that to your smartphone or device today, because when you have all the equipment, the accessories, you get discounts and such on salt and all the other accessories you're going to need to. And then online, ConnecticutIndy.com right now.
Price is king when you buy a new car, right? What if you can get the best deal at the best dealership? Well, that's what we're all striving for, and what Penske Chevrolet at 96 and Keystone is all about. You already know the Penske Promise, which states you're going to get the lowest price on any in-stock Chevrolet product, and that's a guarantee from General Manager Jay Smith and Area VP Brett Rosie. And you also know Chevy Complete Care, your comprehensive owner benefit program, ensures the Penske commitment to owner satisfaction. So now all you need is the financing. And the month of February, all customers are going to get 0% financing on the 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, the 2021 Equinox, and the 21 Trax. Customers will also receive Penske employee pricing on all new Equinox and Trax models, and Penske Chevy has lease specials on the Trax, just $179 a month, and the Equinox, $249 a month, and that's at 39 months and 10,000 miles a year. And don't forget, take up to $15,500 off all new 2020 Chevy Bolt Premiers when you purchase with cash. 96 and Keystone is where all the action is at Penske Chevrolet, online at PenskeChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Hey, it's JMV, and I've been a mess on Valentine's Day forever, never getting it right. Seems like whatever I buy is just not the right thing, does not hit the mark, and is normally rushed. That's why I love the fact that I'm with FTD this year, because FTD's bouquets are expertly arranged and delivered by local florists. For a limited time only, you can save 20% on your next purchase from FTD by visiting ftd.com/JMV. This is such a great deal going on. I'm always in for hassle-free, and let FTD do the work for you. And their bouquets, their arrangements look incredible. So don't sweat it this Valentine's Day. Send the gift a bouquet of flowers from FTD. And for a limited time only, you can visit ftd.com/JMV and save 20% on your next purchase. That's 20% off at ftd.com/JMV.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options, bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we pay fast. We pride ourselves on our quick and easy payouts. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Rob, why are you wearing wings and no shirt?
Well, Brian, love is in the air this month, so I thought I'd play Cupid with our customers.
Because you're short.
No, Brian. For Valentine's Day, we're going to spend the month helping our customers fall in love with a new or pre-owned car.
So, Car Cupid, where's your little bow and arrow?
Don't need them. I shoot straight with great deals all month long. $10,000 off any of our all-new 2021 F-150 XLTs and $8,000 off any Escape.
We also have 200 pre-owned vehicles looking for that special someone. 40 of them very attractively priced under $13,000.
Now you're getting it, Brian.
Prefer dating online? Check any car's personal profile at BillEstesFord.com. Who's Cupid now, Rob?
You are, buddy. Here, take these wings. I'll take my lunch.
But can I keep my shirt on?
Fall in love with $10,000 off any 2021 F-150 XLT and $8,000 off any Escape. And 40 pre-owned vehicles priced under $13,000. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
This is Dave Magine with B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. For a free second opinion on your furnace or air conditioner, look us up at bigbblacktrucks.com.
B&W, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You could be saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Butler welcomes the St. John's Red Storm to Hinkle Fieldhouse tomorrow night at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Second down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a brawl. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle, the 40. Arms in the air and a victory salute He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants. Take off the bra and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh, why is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
Kevin Harlan right there. Oh, I thought it was only appropriate that I'd put in the Rocky IV training montage for that right there. Anybody feel much better after just listening, after just hearing that? That was awesome. Harlan is the best. Like I said, I don't listen to play-by-play or, those color analysts. They're all fine to me. It doesn't matter. Nobody bums me out. It's all good. Man, Harlan with a situation like that takes it next level. Back with you, Denary, a little bit earlier. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Super Bowl 55, all Buccaneers. Last night we've been talking about that. Moving forward, certainly with the Colts, all the rumors. When you need a quarterback, again, those rumors are going to come fast and furiously every single time there is a report of availability of a quarterback. Carson Wentz over the weekend, that report, maybe a little bit of Sam Darnold. Joining us now from The Athletic, Zach Kiefer on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline to talk a little bit about that. We'll get to the Super Bowl in just a minute. But to me, Carson Wentz, and from what I hear, 2 first-round selections as a price tag is not going to happen.
No way. And, there's a report from Greg Bedard over the weekend that initial price tag when the Eagles threw it out was met with some dial tones. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I would put some money on the fact that one of those dial tones belonged to Chris Ballard. It ain't happening. I mean, this guy led the league in interceptions last year. And I think teams are trying to play on desperation right now. And this is something Ballard has mentioned many times over the years. They try to get teams in a panic to make a panic move, and he's not going to do it. And the vibe I've gotten from inside the building is, while there might be a lot of desperation outside, right, a lot of panic among the fans, and I'm sure the people that call into your show, the Colts are not panicked right now. Maybe they should be, but they're not panicked. They really do think this is going to work out. I don't necessarily mean Wentz. I mean the quarterback situation. They're confident that whatever happens, they're going to figure this out.
There's certainly a difference between being panicked and aggressive. But let's face it, they got a crap load of work to do this offseason and a lot of things to figure out for – again, and I bring this up and people think that I'm anti-Ballard. I'm not anti-Ballard. I'm just a realist on this. For a guy that's led this team, this organization for 4 years and won 1 playoff game. And I would feel that way too if the owner comes out and, is all rah-rah. But still, regardless of everything that has been done, that is your record.
Yeah, that's the reality. Your record is what you said. It is what it is. And I think, I'm going to have to disagree with Jim Irsay on one thing. And he said last week, whenever we talked to him a couple of weeks ago, he said, look, I think this is a Super Bowl roster. We just need the quarterback. I'm not ready to go there. Come on. Let's live in reality for 1 second. They need 3 of the most important positions on the entire field. You move on from the quarterback for a bit, just for argument's sake, and you got to go find a left tackle. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have a left tackle and his name's Quentin Nelson. So I'll give you that. You got to go find a left guard. It's easier to do. You still need edge rush, and you still need some help in the back end in terms of a corner. So those are huge positions to fill, and those are not easy things to do. And more importantly, they're very, very expensive things to do. And I'm not so sure they don't take a step back, whoever the quarterback is. Once we move on from Matthew Stafford, that's not reality right now, right? I mean, that's where you're at, right? I mean, they're gonna probably, barring a miracle move, take a step back from what they got from Phillip Rivers last year. Now that, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I look like an idiot in 6 months and 8 months if Carson Wentz comes here and regains his previous form. But at this point, I'm not sure they're going to be able to match what Rivers did this season.
And I thought all along, too, that they were going to need somebody that was more capable in big on-the-quarterback situations to lead them down the field. So that makes you a little bit more apprehensive about what you're going to get in 2021 compared to the 11-win season, and going to the postseason is what you got this past year.
Where do you come down on Wentz? Because this is such a sticky position. I mean,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Here's what I think about Wentz. He looked done. He looked toasted. Yeah. He looked barbecued. But because they're in a situation with nobody right now, that it looks decent in something that you can manufacture or bring back to life, because everybody kind of leans on Frank Reich to be able to do that. With what you saw out of this guy this past year, I'm apprehensive about what you're going to do. I would much rather them take a shot with Sam Darnold in this situation than I would with Carson Wentz.
So here's the thing where I go back and forth on this. Look, Wentz has played like an MVP before. Darnold hasn't come close to that. I understand that. Wentz was sacked 65 times this season.
Right.
Now, that's absolutely part of the equation and how he played poorly this year. But I watched the tape, and he played really, really bad. That's just objective. I mean, objectively, he was terrible. The decisions were terrible. The fact that he was benched was a long time coming for a rookie, not even a first-round pick as well. So I can see it both ways. I like Darnold's contract a lot more. It's the last of his rookie deal. Then you can move on, and it doesn't kill you. You have that option if you want to bring him back. You know, Wentz isn't terrible. It's like $23 million for 1 year, $23 million for the next. And if it goes bad, you know, that doesn't kill you, but it does set you back, and that's quite a bit of money. You don't know where Jacob Eason's going to be in the next couple of years as well. But the vibe I'm getting is the belief in Frank Reich is absolute at Colts headquarters. What he did with Phillip Rivers this year really gave them confidence that this guy can do it. And if Frank's pushing for Carson Wentz, we know he likes Carson Wentz. I went back and watched what he said when Carson was coming out of the draft. I mean, he's all in on this guy in terms of what in 2017. If Frank really wants this guy, the Colts are going to make a move. We know they're in conversations with the Eagles right now. We know they want him. It's going to come down to compensation, and the Eagles are throwing out crazy starting points right now.
Well, and then the other thing is it depends on if somebody else out there feels the same, if not more, about Wentz and will be willing to live up to the price tag that the Colts aren't. Because, I mean, it's negotiating with it. It's one thing when you're selling to a free agent, right? You're selling a situation, whatever, to a free agent. But now you got to jump through some hoops to make this thing a reality. And if you got somebody else out there that's willing to bend a little bit more than you are, then you're host. That's it.
That's a really good point you made, and that's something I've heard from talking to a couple people around the league the last couple of weeks is the Colts have a huge advantage in free agency because of the offensive line, because of Frank Reich, because of the young offensive weapons, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. It's a good place to come if you're a quarterback. I get it. But they don't have a huge advantage in trade compensation right now because of the way they do things. One, Ballard's not going to want to shell out a bunch of picks, and he probably laughed when they said 2 first-rounders and a third-rounder. Not for this guy. No way. They weren't going to do that for Matthew Stafford. They're not going to do that for the guy that's coming off a 16 touchdown, 15 interception season. And that's just the reality of where they are trying to trade. And you look at Chicago, and Chicago's the other team right now in the Wentz debate. They just hired John DeFilippo to be their quarterback coach there. He was with Wentz in Philly, so there's a common connection there. But the Bears are in a situation where they might be more aggressive, right? Because Ryan Pace needs to get this right. And Matt Nagy, they need to get this right after not getting it right. Yeah. They have a little bit.
They skated this year, and people thought that they should have been bounced, whereas, it looks like everybody over there is comfortable.
Don't you think they're a little bit more aggressive in what they're willing to give up?
I agree.
Maybe that matters to the Eagles.
I agree.
Maybe it doesn't matter at all that Wentz probably prefers Indianapolis, to be honest. He's not picking where he's going.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That is good because that's part of it. I mean, the hoops, I call it the dominoes that have to fall to realistically even have a slight chance at getting a quarterback. And that's why I know the way Chris talks and aggressive and not desperate, but you got to be a little bit concerned about where you are, considering being an 11-win team and everybody talking you up as such, and you've got some serious holes. And that's why I also mentioned this, Zach. It seems like that, how much of this at all, if at all, would hinge on just how serious they are at all about moving Nelson over? It seems like some of these situations can hinge on that very situation alone.
Doesn't it give you quite a bit of flexibility? Doesn't it? It makes the headache a little bit less severe, right? It takes down the stress level if you solve that problem. And look, these are Anthony Costanzo's words. He said Quentin could do it. And if he could do that, that really alleviates the pressure you have in round 1 or round 2 to go get a left tackle. I don't see any other way around it.
And I was told they were really serious about it. People kind of laugh when I say that, but I was told they're really serious about it.
Hey, you were on this back in week 17. I remember you asking me about it. And, we'll see. I think it's possible. I would, it's easy for me to say I'd rather keep him at left guard because he's a Hall of Famer at left guard, but I'm not the one trying to fill these holes. So I get what you're saying about sort of facing the need of filling these positions and not being desperate and not being, stirred to make a panic move. And really, that's the art of it, right? That's what being a GM, that's what it comes down to, is not being forced into these situations. The problem is they've never been in a situation like this where they literally don't have a quarterback that's ready to start for week 1 next season. They don't believe Jacob Eason's that guy. They don't want to rush him. So they need to find somebody. So at some point, you can't be patient. At some point, you're going to have to pull the trigger. And you're probably not going to love the move, considering the options right now are not particularly great. You can make a case against every single one of these guys.
Man, you can. That's why I've said this before. Like I start hearing some Darnold stuff now, but last week all I had heard was trading up and how much that they like Justin Fields, and then I hear the name Nick Foles again, who by the way also has to be traded for if he's not released by the Bears to bring a dude like that in. So most of all, it has been like relatable or connectable situations when it comes to an already established NFL quarterback here.
Yeah, and then one thing I'll say is leaks are very rare with this team. So let's just be careful with what we do.
He does lock it down. He does lock it down.
Talking about, but I was talking to a player last week, and not that players are the first to know, but he's like, look, man, we play everything close to the vest. Like, I didn't even know this was going to happen. And then it happened, so they really do tighten the ship. Yeah. It's really hard to get a real feel for what they're thinking. That doesn't mean I haven't had conversations with people to kind of gauge their thoughts on where they're at. They are in on Wentz. That's for real. But, don't be surprised if there's a stunner coming up. You just never know with this team. They work in secrecy.
Yeah, they do. When he unlike what it has been in the past, when he wants to lock it down, it's locked down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the DeForest Buckner move speaks to that. I mean, last year, and this is stuff I've learned after the fact, but that was kept quiet for 2 weeks. The deal was done, and it was kept quiet for 2 weeks. You got an All-Pro being traded for a first-round pick, and nobody knew a whisper. Not even the national guys who were talking to agents every single day. So we'll see what happens, but it is a quarterback and it is a prominent position. It's gonna, the whispers are gonna be there, but. Man, I don't know about you, but every single time a quarterback's name is mentioned, the Colts get thrown in there. It's kind of exhausting from this end.
Yeah, we're down to Wentz and Darnold, and then, they're nothing yet out of. I guess Arthur Smith said that they were going to deal to keep Matt Ryan. We'll see. I mean, things can change as we approach a draft, too, so we'll see if that's true. And, Mike Mayock a week and a half ago said how much that they love Derek Carr, and then all of a sudden Derek Carr's name popped up last week about a guy. So there is a lot of verbal poker being played as far as what teams intend on doing in this offseason and as we get closer and closer to free agency and the draft.
Yeah, and the one thing, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is the Colts can't wait to the draft. They got to make a move. They got to get somebody.
You would think.
That doesn't mean you don't go get somebody in the draft. It doesn't mean you'll trade up if you really like a guy. But you can't put all your eggs in the basket in terms of the draft because you're sitting 21, and there's no guarantee you get that guy. And that's just bad football. So they got to go get somebody. I don't know who it is. I mean, you look at free agency. If they don't make a trade, free agency does not look good. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick is 38, I want to say. You got Cam Newton, and maybe it's Jacoby. I was told Jacoby's going to be in the conversation. I don't know how deeply he will be in the conversation, but the fact that they're trying to get these other guys, a year after they went out and paid 38-year-old Phillip Rivers $25 million to take his job, I think that's speaks loudly about what they think about Jacoby. They like Jacoby. They know he's played a big role for them the last couple of years. I think they want to do better at that spot. We'll see if they are able to do that.
Zach Kiefer, the Athletics on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and I'm sure last night and after last night you got a lot of these too. Hey, the Colts are really screwed up because they could have won a Super Bowl had they brought in Tom Brady and not Phillip Rivers. And I told everybody, from what I was told, that wasn't going to be an option because it wasn't going to be an option from a Brady standpoint. And I know Peter King had an article and said that Brady had interest in the Colts, but that's not at all what I ever heard. I heard that they were kind of just they understood the situation, that Brady lost money and was punished and was basically publicly, I don't want to say crucified, that's going too far, lambasted because of the whole Deflategate thing, and there was no way in the world they approached that as if they thought that Brady was ever going to end up here. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, and that's what I heard. I heard the same thing. I heard the interest was not there on Brady's part. And these are even Frank Reich's words. He said, look, it takes two, right? And so once the Colts figured out that Brady was not an option, they studied him in free agency, believe me. They moved to Phillip Rivers. That was always going to be the play. And like you said earlier, it's a lot easier in free agency when you can just basically recruit a guy and you don't have to work on trade compensation. But for the Colts fans out there saying they should have gone Tom Brady, it doesn't work like that. Brady had his choice, and his choice was always Tampa.
So here's a good question for you, and this is years later now, and it doesn't matter, just for the sake of debate, I guess, here, but had they not blown the whistle with that whole ridiculous Deflategate saga, Grigson to Irsay, had they not done that and made that public, do you think that would have been different this past offseason? Would Brady had a different thought in mind?
Boy, that's a fun question.
And it doesn't matter, and it's years later.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking.
When he signed there, like a lot of people, I was like, are you kidding me? He's going to go play for the Bucs? I mean, I was down there in Tampa for that game last December, and it was like half full, and they just didn't seem to care, and they were 7-9 last year. And then you look at the roster, and it kind of did. The more I looked at it, it made sense. Like, he didn't have so much of what he has now in Tampa that he didn't have in New England. I mean, Godwin and Evans and Brate, and then you get Gronk to come on. He's got the running backs. And, oh, by the way, they've got a really young, good defense. Devin White is a monster. And it just made sense. You add in the Brady equation, it did make sense. I think that's a better fit. I think that's kind of what he had his eye on. But that's only a question Tom Brady can answer. Yeah. But I just never seriously considered it because I never thought he had any interest.
Yeah, and that's why people say, well, they didn't do it. And just listen, they probably would have gone in depth had they thought that there was a chance in hell after that entire Deflategate saga that they could have. So that's my answer, and certainly what I've heard, and I'm sticking to it. But you get to last night too. It was good for Bruce Arians to be in that situation, and certainly he's been on the show before. But I love Clyde Christensen, and I was really happy for Clyde Christensen and Tom Moore to be a part of that last night too.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever talked to those two guys, it's impossible not to like them. And even Tom took time out of his Super Bowl prep, a couple of weeks ago to film a video for Peyton Manning and his Hall of Fame sort of reveal. That was cool to watch. But Clyde Christensen is a hell of a storyteller. He's such a fun guy to be around, and he needs to write a book one day. Maybe I can convince him to write it with him. I mean, he spent years with Peyton. He was here for Luck's first couple of years in Indianapolis, and now he moves on and coaches Brady. I mean, that's some great stuff. He's had a charmed coaching life, and those are good guys. Easy to root for those guys, those three, Arians, Christensen, and Tom Moore.
Yeah, completely agree. And then last night's game, there's the other thing they were thinking about with the Colts in mind. I mean, the biggest deal of that game last night was the endless quarterback pressure they placed on Patrick Mahomes, and the Colts are without a significant, once again, edge rusher. They have some hopes and some, maybes, but nothing you believe can translate to any sort of consistent edge rushing pressure.
Yeah, I saw it two ways. I saw that. They don't have that. They don't have what the Bucs drew up. They don't have that. They need to get there. That's what won the game for sure. But on the flip side, Kansas City, man, you can't block anybody. And I don't care how good your quarterback is. And Mahomes still made some ridiculous plays last night. Almost made two of the best incompletions I think I've ever seen in my life.
Great, yeah.
My point is, I don't care how good your quarterback is. If you can't block, you're not going to win. And they got rolled last night because they couldn't block anybody. And I know they had some injuries, and look, that's part of it. But the Colts are in a good spot in terms of that, in terms of their ability to recruit guys because their offensive line is very good. They've got a great running game. They've got pieces. That's not going to change. I watched a lot of those types of teams early in Andrew Luck's career. They couldn't block, and he was running for his life. We've all seen that. But you're right about the Bucs defense, man. I mean, that pressure was relentless from the first snap. And I feel like my lasting memory from that game, when I think about the Bucs-Chiefs Super Bowl, I'm just going to think about Patrick Mahomes running back 30 yards and trying to make something happen that never did.
It was crazy. And Todd Bowles and that defense, absolutely incredible. Chris Godwin, wide receiver of the Buccaneers, that won a part of that squad that won last night, at least reportedly, allegedly, rumor-wise, has been connected with maybe some interest from the Colts. And maybe it's not specific. It's probably too specific to be real. But do the Colts make some sort of higher level, mid-level type of noted free agency move on a wide receiver, you think?
I think it's a big push. I really do, because T.Y. Hilton is not a guarantee. I know they like T.Y. I know that Irsay wants to bring him back, but I think it's by no means a guarantee. It's going to come down to money. And then secondly, let's just say for argument's sake that they've got a quarterback in place who's good but not great, right? I think that's where we're at right now. Let's say it's Wentz. Let's say it's Darnold. It doesn't matter. Don't you need to go get him a weapon? Don't you need to get him a weapon to make him better? They tried to do that with Phillip Rivers this year. But, Paris Campbell goes down, and Michael Pittman was down for a month in the middle of the season. No matter who the quarterback is, you're not going to have a Mahomes or a Watson who's going to be able to elevate every single person on your offense. I think that's a real concern. And I understand you got to pay a corner and you got to find a left tackle if it's not Quentin Nelson, and you got to find some edge rush. But that would be a move I could really see. Maybe Allen Robinson's another guy that they target. They like big-bodied receivers. And those guys aren't cheap, but they can really make a difference. When you talk about a game and like those 5 or 6 plays that win a game, Godwin is a guy that can make one of those plays.
So do you think there was anything to the rumor, the speculation that T.Y. is going to end up getting a free agent deal down in Miami?
It's going to come down to money, I think. And I know T.Y. I think T.Y. really wants to stay. Like, in his heart of hearts, I really do think he wants to stay. And I've talked to a lot of his teammates about what he's like behind the scenes, because he does not give us a lot. He's very short in interviews. And this is a guy that's gone out of his way to teach really young guys how to do it. He takes that seriously from what Reggie Wayne has passed to him. If I had a gut feeling, I think if he had the choice and the money was similar, he would take the Colts. I mean, this is a Ring of Honor guy, obviously. Yeah. We'll see. I hate to guess on these things because it's purely speculative. You just don't know where the dollars are going to come down.
Yeah, his son was playing on the court next to my daughter at Finch Creek on Saturday. So
was he there?
Yeah, his son's a really, really good player. Now, he was not. I didn't see him if he was there, and I wouldn't have ever approached him. But yeah, his son was up there playing. They were on the court right next to where my daughter's team was trying to score. So, and not scoring.
His sons are absolute athletic freaks from what I've seen.
I can't remember what age that was, but my daughter's a 5th grader, and I can't remember. So I think he was playing up too with the group he was with.
Have you had any coaching battles with Mike Wells? I know he's a
no, we don't coach
out in Brownsburg.
I'm the general manager / hype man. So I don't, and I will. I can do some coaching if need be, but I normally sit there and cook the books. I kept the book, and he kept the scoreboard a couple of weeks ago, and that was pretty cool. But I normally do one of the two like that. So
good to stay out of the way. I like that.
Yeah, and it just doesn't. With my daughter, it doesn't help, and I want somebody else to get her to listen because she really doesn't listen to me. And it's just kind of that way. Like I say, you never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like that famous Forrest Gump line, life's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. That is specific to fifth grade girls basketball because I have no idea. Are they going to score 30 points in 40 minutes or, 9 points in 40 minutes? What are they? You have zero idea. Are you an afternoon team or a morning team? What are they going to be thinking about? So you never know, but it's fun. It is.
That's the fun part. I'm a couple years behind you, but I'm looking forward to it. I have no interest, no idea if my daughter's going to be interested, but I'm going to try, and we'll see what happens.
Well, so we've been to lunch, and we'll probably go back to Ford's Garage up there again when we're up at Finch. And we went to he's gone out to Grand Junction over there by the Pacer facility in Westfield, I think. So we always have a good time up there for real. He's a great guy, and he's Layla, his daughter's really fun too, and they're friends. The girls are friends, so it's good.
Good stuff. I know he's in the gym with her all the time. So maybe he's got some potential.
Yep. Good girl for real. Hey, I appreciate you as always, Zach. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thanks, man.
Zach Kiefer, the Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. They're doing a great job up there. And I know not all of you are parents or certainly have kids that are in the age bracket that my daughter Lainey is in. But, man, Eric and the gang that run that basketball at Finch Creek and the Pacer facility in Westfield just do a tremendous job. Tremendous. No matter how it works. I mean, win, lose. I'll be honest. You look around this landscape, and there's no other place for these girls especially that I'm dealing with, but these kids don't have any other place to play. And they have provided that safely. And I just done an outstanding job. I had Eric put us on standby if anybody drops out, because there have been a variety of reasons why, pandemic or otherwise, reasons why some teams maybe at the last minute will have to drop out. And I said, hey, call us. We're ready. Because I just want them to play and to enjoy it, have a good time, learn, and to be friends. But Eric and the staff up there have been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it's going to continue. I think we're going to play up there in the spring and in the summer because stuff's not open yet. And there's zero on the south, nothing on the south side, nothing. So we go up to Finch. We found a place to practice. I do have to give a shout out to Bo Barrett for getting us in over at the SAC and in the Vandy. Because he's kind enough to let us do that. Otherwise, it'd be too damn cold right now to be practicing up in our unheated barn down near Martinsville. Well, about 25 degrees in that thing right now. So we had to put a pause on that. But it's been a good time. And I've certainly, being a part of it, and I think you fathers that have kids that are older, a little bit older to a lot older, probably have realized that too. You have a great deal of appreciation. It's something you don't really think about when you don't have kids, but when you're put in that situation, I mean, it's really meaningful when others do stuff so they can continue doing and participating in what they really love. And this has been a trying year. There's no doubt about that, but a job well done up there. No doubt. Denary Kiefer podcast, 1075thefan.com is where you can go. I'm going to close out with some calls. You guys want to do that next? Yeah, 239-1070. You guys go ahead and chime in. We'll do that inside the lounge on YouTube Live. We had a great night on Saturday. He gave away 4 different $50 gift cards to Cynthia's Hallmark for Valentine's Day. I have those winners. We do a free beer Saturday, which is awesome. But, man, just absolutely slammed it on Saturday night over there. And it's still amazing to me that I go in there, and it used to be 4 hours, and now it's 6 hours. And it used to be just me having some fun and screwing around, and now it's a sponsored thing. But getting that type of response on 35 and 40-year-old requested songs and keep people going until midnight like that, it's amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. Sometimes you just don't know where you're going to find that content. And we certainly have on Saturday down the hall on B105.7. You guys have been awesome with that, too. Back with you next.
We go out as a group of guys, some former players, and they are just blown away with how great my hair looks. I did the multi-unit hair grafting because I was tired of having to wear a hat.
My friend Rick DeMully, Indiana's own former professional football player, and I both know We Grow Hair Indy is the most trusted medical hair restoration clinic and the only company in the Midwest that has the ARTIST robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting. Call 888-724-5129 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com. We Grow Hair Indy PRP treatments helps me keep my non-transplanted hair. Takes about 45 minutes, and this busy world, it's perfect.
Having the hair that I have now has just given me confidence and just making me feel good about myself.
This year, restore your confidence and grow your hair back. Call for a free in-office or virtual evaluation. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Today, that's 888-724-5129.
Jason Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, BetRivers.com. With football season in the rearview mirror now, it's full speed ahead on basketball, college hoops, the NBA, and for you puck heads, I said puck, you've got hockey. We've got racing right around the corner. The options are limitless, and the profit boosts make sure you win the most money possible. This is why I dig Bet Rivers. Sign up today. Must be 21 and over, a resident of Indiana, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's John Harris for the best. You ready? Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers. That's 131 at State Road 37. Have you talked to my guy Eric Wilson yet? Not only can you talk to Eric Wilson about getting in a new ride for a great price and a great deal, but also some hoopage. He loves to talk basketball. So if you're up there and you're in the market for a new ride, even if you're not, or maybe you're on the fringe and you're thinking about it, the deals are so spectacular, you got to do it, right? The Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, all, are you ready? 0% interest for 72 months. I am driving around. My wife is driving around the Acadia. Now, we love it for different reasons. I love it because we can throw all the basketball girls inside there and then head down the road and go to a game or go to a lunch or whatever, and everybody fits in. I mean, there are seats everywhere in this thing. They're state-of-the-art technology. You know, everybody's got a smartphone. The girls in the back. Oh, you know what? I don't have a charge on my phone. And then you can charge. Oh, it's great. I mean, great. And for the best prices anywhere. 0% interest for 72 months. It is at Indiana's best. Andy Moore, Buick GMC. It's in Fishers. Tell Eric Wilson and the gang that I sent you. 131st and State Road 37 today.
Finding the perfect romantic gift you'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years, 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at DiamondsDirect.com. Open Sunday, noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
A paddle dips in and out of emerald green waters. The sun shimmers through the mangroves in the early morning light. High above the Gulf, the wind flows through your hair as you look down upon the miles and miles of white sand beaches below as you glide through the sky in a parasail. Welcome to St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, where all things vibrant and vivid come together. Plan your next escape at embraceyoursenses.com.
Hey Verizon customers, are you tired of paying all those extra taxes and fees? The average Verizon Wireless customer pays over $120 a year in added taxes and fees. With Spectrum Mobile, you'll pay $0 in added taxes and fees no matter how many lines you have. So stop paying and start saving with Spectrum Mobile. See how much you could save by switching. Go to spectrummobile.com/saving today. Spectrum Internet required. Visit spectrum.com/facts for details.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's only February and homes are selling at a record pace. Inventory is super low and demand is at an all-time high. If you're even considering buying a home this year, you need to be working with the experts. Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
The Butler Bulldogs have numerous Big East games in the coming weeks, and you can watch them play. Mask up and get to Hinkle Fieldhouse. Visit butlersports.com/buy tickets or call 317-940-DOGS.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
The Ride with JMV.
1, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. 2, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Kristen Area, Zach Kiefer, podcast 1075thefan.com. Eddie Garrison doing a great job, and for Kyle Udemark, who is back coming up on this show tomorrow. Have a good week for you, too. And no Pacer hoops tonight or tomorrow night. Pacers back at it in Brooklyn coming up on Wednesday night. The first of 3 on the road at Detroit on Thursday evening, and then at Atlanta coming up on Saturday. 239-1070, email address, JMV at 1070thefan.com. Inside the lounge on YouTube Live, I see Jonah. You guys liking, right? Liking my impression of the girls in the back. Basketball girls needing a charger for the phone. I'm telling you, Lainey gets back in the third row and plugs in, and I don't even know she's back there. Love it. 239-1070. Let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay. How are you?
Pretty good. Yourself, JMV?
Great, Jay. Good to hear from you, brother.
I wanted to tell you, I saw the IU-Iowa game yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was very proud of IU. And I think on that last play, they tried to throw it off the backboard. I'm glad the ball didn't come out to Wieskamp, because Wieskamp was hot yesterday.
Yeah, I think McCaffrey said afterwards that the scoreboard, the video, whatever, was too low, and it was actually a pass. But I guess McCaffrey, his son, was taking it out, had to put some heat on it, and couldn't throw it or give it enough loft. That's what he said. But it looked like to me, Jay, it did look like for a moment that he threw that off the backboard, and you had Garza turned around. Had he just turned around and not gone to the basket, that he might have had a chance at that initially. But it was coming pretty fast.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to comment on.
Jay, good call the other night too, man. That's well done.
Thank you.
Hey, Jay calls in the JMV Takeover all the time. JMV, I listen to deep cut tracks, never overplayed. Come on now. There's only a select few out there that do that. And here's what happens. Those of you that constantly listen to deep cut tracks bore the hell out of the rest of us. I mean, it's okay every now and then. I mean, especially when you're drunk or you're drinking to get drunk. You know what I mean? But all those deep cut tracks bore the hell out of everybody else. They do. I mean, it's great. Like down the hall, let me give you a great example. Like somebody requested Quiet Riot and Slick Black Cadillac, and I love that song. It's a deep cut. It's a deep track from Mental Health in 1983. And I played it because it was a request. But more people out there would, and I'm just sticking with the 80s and this old farts right now, would much rather hear Come On Feel the Noise or Mental Health. Like I couldn't play Slick Black Cadillac and Battle Axe and a bunch of other songs off that album, deep cut-wise, because it bore the hell out of everybody. because not enough people know it. You have to have at some point some familiarity with what you're listening to. It just feels better. Nobody overplays me. I'm telling you what, Paradise by the Dashboard Light is brutal. Brutal. What was the other one? Just the whole Bat Out of Hell thing. I'm not a rock opera dude. I've never been that, and I'm not going to be that. And if I'm going to hear a rock opera song, it's going to be something Queen. It's not going to be The Loaf of Meat. JMV, yeah, I said FTD and not STD, Myron, okay? I am not looking forward to giving you an STD before Valentine's Day. Stefan's at 239-1070. Stefan, hello.
What's up, Jay?
Good to hear from you. Go ahead.
Good to hear from you, too, man. I was sitting there listening to you, and everybody's so hell-bent on leveraging our future for a quarterback for the Colts. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm listening. You sprouted the idea, last week. I thought about that a little bit. I mean, you had this. I'm going to give you credit because you had this thought before they initiated the Rivers deal last year. But, as you look at it now, if you would have not been that good and lived with it or lived with Brissett and things hadn't worked out, you would be able to move on. But I think, Stefan, in thinking about that, you also have to have, Ballard and company over there really liking a group of quarterbacks in that first round. And to this point, the only thing I've heard they like is Justin Fields. That's about it.
But Jay, to be honest with you, there's really hard to fall in love with a quarterback when you're not drafting number one.
I know what you mean.
So my thing is look at his defense. We could be looking like we could get the next Devin White. We can get the next Shaq Barrett. We already got Julian Blackmon.
And I know why you feel this way too, because this quarterback abyss that they've found themselves in since Luck left them at the altar and kind of hosed them right before the start of the season, that abyss is not something that is very noted to Colts fans around here. I mean, you haven't really had to be in that in forever, and now you're in it, and you're just looking for – I mentioned this last week, Stefan. It's like any port in a storm here. Just looking for anything. We've gone from Stafford, he was going to be great. He can't miss. He's gone and off the board now. Well, what about Matt Ryan? Well, Matt Ryan's now at least allegedly off the board for a trade. What about Derek Carr? Nothing's been mentioned about Derek Carr. And now we're down to Carson Wentz and Sam Darnold. That is life without a quarterback, and that's a struggle of the NFL.
So can I ask you a question right now?
Sure, go ahead.
Jay? All right, so after watching the Super Bowl and looking at the situation, they played Patrick Mahomes, who is arguably the best quarterback behind Tom Brady right now because he just lost to the Super Bowl. But when the team is not complete, when the defense can't keep pace and you don't have no one to block for, but you have the greatest quarterback ever and you only put up 9 points, what good is having an all-star quarterback with no team?
You know what? And it's a bummer for them last night, but you're there, and you're not losing. You're not losing a first Saturday of the postseason game in Buffalo. You're there.
Are we playing to get there? Or are we playing?
To play to win the game, you got to first get there, Stefan.
True, but we ain't gonna never get there, especially if we leverage our whole future for Carson.
Well, yeah, and that's why I don't buy it. There's no way they're going to give up 2 number ones for that. There's just no way.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question real quick? This is my last one, and you can kick me off.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. So my thing is, everybody's talking about Frank Reich being this quarterback whisperer, right?
Yeah.
If we get Carson Wentz and we give up everything for him, and he can't make it work, and it puts us 6 years in the hole, how much time?
You know the answer. Yeah, you know the answer to that. If you do something that bold, that direct, and it doesn't work, you know the answer to that.
Okay, because I'm just saying.
There's no problem right now. Nobody's going anywhere right now. You get further down the road, and that hamstrings you even more, and you don't find a solution, and you don't live up to the expectations that the owner has set. You know the answer to that.
All right, so me and Jay,
yeah,
me and you gonna talk. We gonna let this play on out.
You got it, buddy.
No more. but we're going to let this play on out. But I promise you, if they leverage the future and we don't pay them out, I'm going to be calling pissed.
It's all right, man. That's what we're here for, Stefan. Thank you. I do have to hit a break. If you're on hold, I'll get back to you. Final time on the show next.
Kids, tell your parents about Forum's Sprout of the Month contest where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, John, for Connecticut here. Joe, John, and Dennis, great deals on the best water. 2021 is starting out, and it's good for you, too. If you don't have water, because, again, Indiana notoriously known to have hard water, bad water, problem water, Connecticut to the rescue with the K5, with the Premier Series of water softener, and what's the best deals going on right now? I mean, right now, the best deals you're going to find at Connecticut. 2 locations, northeast side, Castleton, south side, US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Do you have a financial advisor? Or maybe thinking of getting one? Make sure your advisor is a fiduciary. That's someone who's legally required to serve your best interests. Stockbrokers and mutual fund sales reps, they aren't fiduciaries. Luckily for you, all the financial planners at Edelman Financial Engines are fiduciaries. And you can get your own personal fiduciary financial advisor real easy by calling 888-PLAN-RIC. And if you call now, you'll get a free retirement review and a personal financial plan to help you reach your goals. An $800 value. And when you meet with us, we'll give you answers to the key questions you need to ask any financial advisor to help you properly evaluate them, like what are the total costs you'll pay, and what investment changes did they make due to COVID. So call us at 888-PLAN-RIC by Tuesday, 10 p.m. We'll make sure you're getting the right financial advisor. Call now, 888-PLAN-RIC by Tuesday, 10 p.m. or visit rickedelman.com.
888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairAndy.com. Options in real, and I mean real hair growth just like mine. If you want it back, if you see that you're losing it, 888-724-5129. Darren Andrews with that private consultation today. WeGrowHairAndy.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and we know that anything can happen in a game, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet with confidence. BetMGM invites new customers to experience their favorite sports like never before with a risk-free first bet of up to $600. Just sign up using the bonus code BIGJOE600, place your first wager, and get your stake back up to $600 in free bets if you lose. The fearlessness doesn't stop there either. Enjoy BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, live betting options, daily boosted odds specials, and much more. All you have to do is download the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com and enter that bonus code BIGJOE600 to get up to $600 in free bets on your first wager. Bet confidently on basketball, hockey, and all the sports action at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Ride with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Denary Kiefer podcast 107.5 thefan.com. Eddie did a great job for us this week. Appreciate that. Kyle's back tomorrow. I've got Robin Miller on the gang for a lunch coming up on Thursday at Workingman's Friend. That is always good. 239-1070 is the number. J-Law is in here today. Hello, J-Law.
Hey, JMV, how are you?
I am great. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
I may have a sponsor for the lounge if you're interested.
Oh, who we got? Who we talking about?
I believe my friend is a regional manager of Budweiser.
The regional, I've heard that my friends at Zinc, I think, want to get on board here. I've heard that.
So if interested, have somebody just shoot me a DM or whatever.
Yes, we're ready for it. We love it. We embrace it and love them. Yes.
And then secondly, I thought the 2 best passes by Mahomes, and you may have talked about this already, but his incompletions were phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Last night, he had 2 that looked straight out of Super Tecmo Bowl or something, J-Law. But, I mean, they were incomplete, but still.
But, yeah, good times, though, man. It was a good game. Enjoyed it. You know, it's something we're lucky to have to watch this year.
You got it, my friend. J-Law, thank you very much, and thanks for Saturday nights, too, man. You guys are great.
Absolutely.
It's J-Law from the Fubar Lounge on Saturday night with me. Jimmy at 239-1070. You're next. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, John? How are you?
How
my
you doing,
friend?
Jimmy?
Hey, thanks for fitting me in. I know you're about to go off the air, but you're always the best. I always love talking to you, John. But real quick, I'm happy. I'm actually happy for Brady. I never thought I would say that, but I think he's mellowed out in his later years, and I'm happy the Bucs won. I projected 35-31, and I at least got the 31 part right. But one last thing, John. What do you think about this is a baseball question real quick. What do you think about Jock Peterson to my Cubs? And you have a great night, John.
Hey, thank you very much. He can't hit in the regular season, but if you get in the postseason, he'll rake for you. I like Jock Peterson in the postseason. Jock Peterson in the regular season hasn't been that great. Hey, Brett, I got to go really quick here. What's up?
Hey, I just want to get a shout out to the D3 Indiana schools football players. They've been practicing since February 2nd. My son goes to Franklin College. I know he's listening. I just want to say I'm really proud of you and keep it up.
Brett, that is awesome, man. That is a great way to end it. Thank you.
Yep.
I like that. Son of Brett right there. If you're listening, well done. You guys have been great today. Great Super Bowl 55 recap. Beavis and Butthead, Costanza. That's all you got to know. And the weekend wasn't that bad. The older you are, the worse you thought it was. That's just the way that it is. Eddie Garrison, well done. Udemark is back tomorrow. Get you covered on a lot of things. More Colts conversation and then some. You guys have been fantastic. Lounge dwellers, awesome once again on this Monday. Appreciate you. 93.5, 107.5, 1070 The Fan. I'm going to go to a 5th grade girls practice.
Tom Brady won another Super Bowl. And when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. At what point did it feel like it was just a sense of inevitability?
The deep ball Brady threw to Mike Evans.
Interference, number 21.
I thought that play.
If you're talking about it,
Kind of felt like after the second touchdown to Rob Gronkowski. Okay, we've seen this move before.
We're talking about it.
Todd Bowles and that defense deserve the MVP.
Your home for sports. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Rob, why are you wearing wings and no shirt?
Well, Brian, love is in the air this month, so I thought I'd play Cupid with our customers.
Because you're short.
No, Brian. For Valentine's Day, we're going to spend the month helping our customers fall in love with a new or pre-owned car.
So, Car Cupid, where's your little bow and arrow?
Don't need them. I shoot straight with great deals all month long. $10,000 off any of our all-new 2021 F-150 XLTs and $8,000 off any Escape.
We also have 200 pre-owned vehicles looking for that special someone. 40 of them very attractively priced under $13,000.
Now you're getting it, Brian.
Prefer dating online? Check any car's personal profile at BillEstesFord.com. Who's Cupid now, Rob?
You are, buddy. Here, take these wings. I'll take my lunch.
But can I keep my shirt on?
Fall in love with $10,000 off any 2021 F-150 XLT and $8,000 off any Escape. And 40 pre-owned vehicles priced under $13,000. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Hello, everyone. Little Bob here, inviting you to come celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 30th anniversary at the first virtual Bob Fest. This President's Day weekend, we're celebrating big time online with virtual balloon animal tutorials, printable activities, and the first ever couch concerts. And of course, you can still get Bob's discount on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, home accents, and more. So come join the fun at Bob's Discount Furniture, in store and virtually all President's Day weekend long at mybobs.com.
Get Bob's Discount!
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent America's Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt's daughter Kim says her dad has a daily influence on the way customers are treated.
Dad's built a great business, and it's an honor to be able to keep carrying it on, and his work ethic and the way he treats customers, and that's something that I want to carry on and treat people the same way.
You can call on Reinhardt Heating and Cooling at 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Small business owners,
Is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Hey, JMV, no matter your age, using smart money habits can make a positive impact on your everyday financial situation. Forum Credit Union can help you put together a plan with tips like this. Spend less than you earn, build an emergency fund, and track your monthly spending. It all starts with understanding the essential money habits that are the foundation of building a successful financial life. Visit forumcu.com for tips and resources and to schedule a financial wellness check today.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
We know you're busy. Bills to pay, mouths to feed, and the man needs another favor. So just in case you missed what happened on The Fan today, we've got your back. And even if you did hear it live, we think you probably need to hear it again. Here you go. All in one place and in just 1 hour. The best from today on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This is Instant Replay. Earlier on the Jeff and Big Joe Show.
But we're doing it with Jeff Saturday, which always makes it fun. And Jeff, this is the final one of the year. That makes me kind of sad. I might be more sad about that than the actual end of the football season, man.
Ain't no doubt.